I missed you, Jonathan. Hello.
Keeper of the Flame.
Twitch drops are enabled on
Oh my God,
today's
wait,
live
that's
stream,
good.
so you'll be able to claim your hive-born crawler pet by following the instructions below.
Oh,
Drops?
that's cool.
Without
What
further
the
ado,
I
fuck?
let's
love
roll the
spiders.
trailer for Path of Exile, Keepers of the Flame.
I freaking love
I love
Path of
drops.
Exile.
We,
I love spiders.
the keepers of the flame,
Can we get subtitles,
serve
please?
the will
I
of
love
the
that they
dreamer.
keep updating the first game
His
consistently.
instructions whispered
don't know
from
where they find
beyond
the time.
wall of sleep.
I think they
But
like
now,
us or something.
The hiveborn are here,
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I
On
love
Hiveborn.
spiders.
and they seek to poison
love
our
bugs.
world.
Bugs,
They
bugs,
do
bugs,
love bugs. They always sponsor us.
Bugs, bugs, bugs. They do.
My favorite.
The
Andrea,
bug
you also
agenda.
love bugs, right? Your wife is a cockroach.
Yes,
We must close
she said yes.
their breaches,
they are pretty cool.
destroy their hives.
She said yes to the wife part.
Slay their breach lords.
Zen should become a bug.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
I thought about it, to be
Bug
honest.
cyborg.
Oh, your little Claude with the new outfit. Oh my God, this
Wanted to
looks
go
so
for like a beetle-looking one. Like Beetleboard.
And by his gifts,
Beetle Zen.
the dreamer
You say her name
provides.
3 times, she appears.
Ew, it just
They brought this
squirted.
war to our world, but we shall
Oh my
end
God.
it. Whatever it
Ew,
takes.
Oh my
I
God,
hate that.
looks amazing. I love it.
It's squelching.
Oh, yes.
Genesis tree.
Item womb?
More trees? I freaking love trees.
We certainly didn't have enough.
Wait, new
Sounds like
what?
treason.
What? New
I like
bloodline
that.
classes?
Oh, I like that. Wow. Jonathan. Explain
Nice.
more.
Okay, we get new trees, we get new skills, we get new bloodline classes. I'm crying. I'm
Happy
crying.
Halloween.
Now, as you can see, this expansion is a true sequel
Jonathan,
to the
what
Breach
the
lore,
heck, man?
first introduced to the game in 2016. We felt like it was time to progress the story of Breach, bringing with it a slew of new updates to the base
I
game.
love the breach.
In today's stream, we'll take you on a deep dive into Path of Exile, Keepers of the Flame, beginning with the
Wow.
League mechanic, covering all the fearsome challenges it presents, and the
Uber
new twisted
bosses.
ways you'll be able to empower your character. After that, we'll dive into the newest ascendancy options possible with Bloodline classes.
10.
Then we'll cover the much
Oh.
anticipated and synchronous trade system coming to Path of Exile 1. Afterwards, move
God.
into the new Uber Pinnacle bosses.
How did they do this?
how to
How did
access
they
them,
keep
and
just
some new drops
winning?
worthy of the added difficulty. Finally, we'll cover some notable quality of life improvements before moving on to our supporter packs and challenge rewards. We'll then have a live
Oh my
Q&A session
God,
where Ziggy D
the
will ask Path of
supporter
Exile's
pack
game directors Mark and myself
actually
got
looks pretty
questions from
good.
Twitch chat.
That little
Insane.
And after the
preview.
live stream, we'll drop the full patch notes at 11 a.m. New Zealand time or 3 p.m. Pacific. So let's get started. I'll hand things over to Mark to introduce the
I've
new
spent
league.
so
Thank
much
you.
money on their supporter packs, I'm
I'm
not even
Mark
gonna
Russell,
lie.
Game director on Path of Exile.
All right, money check, money check.
Breach is a beloved
Honestly,
league
it's
that
cool
has had
stuff.
an iconic history in PoE.
I think I've
We
only
intend
spent
to
about
honor that legacy
$100
with our
total on
first
both
ever
games.
sequel league.
I think
Keepers
I
of
Including
spent
the
buying
Flame.
Path of Exile too.
probably
This
more than
develops every
500.
aspect
No,
of
no, no,
Breach,
no, not including.
adding new
Wait,
layers
how
to
much?
discover.
Yuzu?
Richer
Probably
lore,
more than
scarier
500.
bosses, and entirely
go.
new mechanics.
Can we get 5
That
gifted for
said,
Yuzu's
this
addiction?
is still Breach. So you will
Please?
still be opening breaches and slaying hordes
Then
of
how much money do
otherworldly
you
monsters.
spend on the game?
The Breach Lords have found the means to stabilize the
much.
connection between their realm and Rayclust.
Over under
Now,
1,000?
And here
with
I
their
go
grip
again,
tightening,
spending more.
We learn their true goal in our world.
No, I meant
God.
5
Conquest.
gifted to
Probably
Yuzu, you
under
guys.
1,000.
Pose has
but
now
I
escalated to
think
home
Steve
soil.
just gave 5 gifted.
On the coast in Act
I
1,
meant 5 gifted
you'll
to
encounter
Nice.
y'all.
Aelith, the founder of the Keepers of the Flame.
Wow.
This is a monastic order sworn to defend
Thank you,
Rayclast
Steve.
from the Breach Lords. The exit to the
Oh,
Mudflats has
these
been
spiders.
barricaded by Hiveborn, breach monsters that are working to claim every inch of Rayclast. Aelith can grant you a small spark of the power of the Flame, allowing
But
you to
it's the
blast
power of
away
the
their barricade
flame.
and move onwards.
Oh, wait, I just
Odyssey,
realized
thank you for
Once
the
you
part
enter
of
the
this
$5
bit
gifted.
was
Mudflats,
cut off.
you'll find it
Thank
infested
you,
with
thank
breach
you.
monsters. They appear to be constructing
Sorry,
a kind of
everybody.
hive, creating strange shapes and structures that absolutely don't belong. Time to purge them with fire.
Hold on.
Aelith needs you to protect her as she empowers the flame to do so. Hold off the assault long
I wonder
enough,
if we can
and she'll
hide
be able to
the
demolish the,
the
hive
arm
with
on our
cleansing
back
flame.
though. It's so uggies. I want to be cute fairy princess.
I see what you
In other
mean. I see
areas,
what you
the
mean.
gap between worlds
But it's
is
so
strange.
gothic.
Here,
It is.
you'll find a
So
more familiar
cool.
encounter with a new twist. A massive breach hand sunders the space between dimensions. And
Turbo,
touching
thank
it
you
will
for the
open an
5
unstable
gifted. I wanna
breach,
touch it.
causing
Thank you,
monsters to flood in.
Turbo. Thank you.
5
If you can
gifted for
slaughter
what?
them
For
quickly
Yuzu's
enough,
video
you
game
can
spending
stabilize the
addiction.
breach.
What class is that?
This brazen
Oh,
action can
wait a
draw the
second.
attention of
That
Vern,
looks so
Master
cool.
of
This
Zest,
looks like a
who will do
new
everything it can to stop you.
a new skill.
Defeating this boss will
Little
permanently
whirlwind.
seal the breach, severing another connection between the Breach Lord's
that's
world
sick.
and Rayclass.
I think breaches are one of
These
my
stable
that
favorite
actually
breaches are similar
mechanics.
to what a breach once was.
Yeah, what
but
do you like
with
about 'em?
upgraded monsters,
old one.
a success condition to shoot for, UI tracking to
It's a
keep
old
the player
skill.
informed of their progress through the encounter, and satisfying feedback
And
when you do
they're saying
manage to
Blade
complete the
Vortex?
encounter.
Oh.
We've taken all the lessons we've learned
Skill
since
is
the release
Blade
of Breach
Vortex
9
and
years ago
class.
and improved
does that
upon it
belong
in
to?
every way we can. However,
Oh my god.
Maybe it's
much
a
of the joy
strength,
of Breach came from its simplicity.
skill
Pegasus
down.
Rider.
While
I'm
we want to
gonna.
modernize
I
the
got
mechanic,
excited, but it
we
was on
don't
the
want
live
to
feed.
undermine the core experience. You're still
look
mostly
at the little
just
shield
slaughtering
chaining.
hordes of
Oh, I
enemies
like
in
it.
a circle.
I like
Finally,
it.
in endgame areas, you might run
Anybody
into
in
breach
the path of
constructions that have
exile.
been left
One can use
unopposed
it.
for too long.
Yeah,
and have
yeah,
grown
yeah,
into
You
their
can
they
full
basically have
twisted
any
glory.
skill on any
Breach
class.
hives. Towering, flesh-crafted cities in the
That's why
sky.
it gets crazy. You
These
can
are the
do any
visions of the
build
Breach
at any
Lords made
time.
real in Rayclast, teeming with the Breach monsters.
I love
You
circles.
must raid and destroy these cities with the help of Aelith and her flame.
I don't
That's
want to
very
destroy
cool.
the spider
In
nests.
some of these
I want them
hives,
to be
you
alive.
may even encounter some of the
make
Breach Lords
spider
themselves.
Spiders
who will not
eat
be
us,
happy you're
Mata. What?
intruding on their planned conquest.
They
I don't
eat
care.
us.
They're beautiful.
Now, let's talk
Geckos
loot.
also eat you.
Of course,
I
being in
love
exile is
it.
hard work, and you're unlikely to help entirely out of the goodness of your heart.
Zen's marinating us right now.
Fortunately, Aelith has
is.
power and rewards aplenty, born of
Thank
the
you.
Breach
That
realm
sounds so
itself
good.
to offer
Using
you
the
for your
word
assistance.
marinating sounds like
Help
steak.
her, and
Oh,
she'll
no.
bring you to the monastery of the Keepers, the hallowed halls of her order. Here, you'll
This
find
game is
the
crazy.
Genesis
You know
tree,
the best part about
It looks
the
like a
growing heart
thumb.
of the Keeper's power.
It's free.
On interacting with it, you'll find that
game
this
is
tree has a tree.
Oh, I
That's
love
right.
trees.
It
I
couldn't
got
be
called
part
out
of
because
exile
of my massive
unless the
hood.
tree also had a tree.
Because of your
More
massive
importantly,
My hood is
the
what makes
Genesis
me.
tree is an engine of unholy creation, and a profitable
Man.
one. As you
I
complete
can't
breach
have
encounters
shit.
and work more with Aelith,
You can have
you'll be
me.
able to grow the Genesis tree larger and larger.
Oh God,
sprouting
that's
additional limbs.
disgusting, but I
Each
love
of
it.
these limbs, you'll notice,
I
has their
love
own
the
inventories.
arms.
These can be used for an unusual method of crafting
God, what
new
a
items.
cool tree.
With this system, you'll be able to grow currency,
I will say, I
uniques,
do think they need
equipment,
subtitles.
and a
I'm
new
so used
kind
to
of otherworldly
subtitles.
item, grafts.
Yeah.
Grafts are breach hands
Yeah.
Wait,
drawn
do you
directly
watch your
from the
movies with
Genesis tree.
subtitles?
Born
Everything
of the
with
same
subtitles.
flesh and sinew as the invading
Oh
monsters.
man, look at that arm poking
These
out.
fuse directly to your
Ew.
body in a completely safe process.
It's so ugly.
Don't worry about it.
I love it.
With grafts, you can harness the power of the breach.
It's
Some
so
provide
ugly.
passive benefits like this
Oh
or
shoot.
this, but they can also grant a wide selection of powerful skills.
I love that it's so
Oh my
ugly.
God.
These graft skills can provide a flexible way to fill gaps in your build,
What?
offering everything from damage to potent
It
defensive
doesn't
buffs
automatically
and
cast the
crowd
skill.
control.
Oh my God! What?
I don't have to press
For
the
example,
looking
button.
nice.
The battering all graft
like
will
that.
call massive arms to erupt from the earth,
Wow.
stunning all those they hit. For some additional pack clearing power, you could consider the Squalling Tool Graft. When commanded,
Oh
this
my
graft
God!
will
It's
cast
so
Dance in the White,
cool.
creating a deadly ice tornado, which aggressively seeks enemies
looking nice.
and fires off bursts of
I
ricocheting
like
projectiles
my
when
tornado,
critically
that's
strike with skills.
feminist.
For some
Bro,
further
this is just
utility and a
Zest
useful buff,
propaganda. We're
try out
turning
the
into
Storming
him.
Ishgraft. This
We're
can
just
be
turning
commanded
into
to call
Zest,
down
and
a
we're gonna
ring
have
of
to kill
bolts from the sky
ourselves.
that will leave
I
behind the
love
new
that for
Radiant
us.
Ground. Radiant Ground grants a potent damage buff to allies standing within it and makes their hit damage lucky. If you're simply after raw damage, look no
Raw
further than the
damage.
erupting
Okay,
Zoth
now I will play
Looking
pro.
very
which causes
Hey,
massive
it's
eruptions
free.
of fire where you
Sorry,
command,
Sunny, what did you say?
which then re-erupt when you war cry. There are a total of
it's looking very
16
smooth.
different graft types you can grow,
It is
each with
looking
their own
real
skill.
nice.
You can even unlock a second graft slot as you progress through
Whoa,
Aelith's
okay,
quest.
it's
Oh,
sick.
that's
So
sick.
feel
It's
free to
so
mix and
sick
match
with
flesh
2,
zone horrors to
actually.
your heart's content.
More heads!
Now,
more
grafts
skills to
aren't
be
just here to make you
cast.
stronger. They are also your means of feeding the Genesis tree,
Sorry,
which
that's
needs
so
constant
funny. I don't
supplies
know
of
why.
graft blood to grow anything useful. You can do this by
Yeah,
defeating
I'm gonna
breach
look
monsters,
so cool with
which
my
will leave
Kirax
behind
Vault
blood
floating
your graft will
cosmetic.
automatically collect. When you feed this blood to the tree, your allocated passives will be put to work. This section of the Genesis tree can be used to grow new grafts for you, which the Genesis tree will
It's
then
like,
birth
it's
in
like
a
a
gruesome
farming
display.
simulator, you know? You feed blood and it gives
Yeah.
you items.
Basic passives on the tree might increase
So
item
easy.
rarity of birthed grafts, or the chance to birth additional grafts.
Wait, did that just say 250
These
or
passives can target
2,500
This game
Hundred
has
item
so much
rarities.
content.
And this
Yup.
passive
What did you
causes
say,
grafts to
Yuzu?
be birthed with a random amount of quality.
I think I just read
Quality improves the amount of blood that can be stored by
2,500
your
item
grafts.
quality increase.
This section of the Genesis tree births currency items. Basic passives can result in more or better currency.
Fertile
Allocate
Genesis.
this passive to sometimes cause a shower of currency to burst forth from the flesh of the tree. Yeah, it's a bit gross, but working with the organic matter of a bunch of dead otherworldly creatures was never going to be a clean affair.
I think
love
we're going to
it.
get Joel to play this game.
Grafts themselves
yeah.
are born of a different world.
You think about
so
it,
are
girls. We're basically just
unmodifiable by most
recycling. It's good for
currencies.
the environment.
However, with this passive, the Genesis tree can
bloody
occasionally
good
grow
time, you
fleshy
could say.
mockeries of currency
Yup.
orbs. These function like augmentation orbs, regal orbs, or exalted orbs,
Nice.
but they work on your grafts instead of normal
More
gear.
orbs.
Yep, it's
Path of Exile
graft
1
crafting.
CC. They are amazing
Allocating
and they
this
work on
passive can
both Path of
result in
Exile 2
foul-born
and 1 at the
currencies.
same time.
This
this is
foul-born
an update
exalted
for
orb,
the
for
first one,
instance,
which is
behaves as a
free.
normal exalted orb,
Big pop.
except it guarantees a higher tier modifier. By locking out a large portion of the lower rolls, a normal exalted orb would be able to hit. The largest section of the Genesis
Oh my
tree
god,
is
wait,
used
I
to
didn't
grow
realize it
rare
had that
equipment
much
items.
tree. I thought it
For
was only the
these,
little
you
stuff
have
they
a
were
lot
showing
of
us.
agency to influence the type
Oh my
and
God.
modifiers on your grown item. For example, you can specifically target boots with a dexterity requirement,
What the
with
hell
an
are
increased
these
chance
stats?
for speed modifiers,
You don't say
and
this in
reduced chance for
PoE
cold
2.
modifiers.
Birthday equipment.
Or
has- oh
maybe
my
you'd
God.
prefer to look for a two-handed axe with increased chance for physical modifiers.
Oh, so you can basically birth the items
This section
that
of
you
the
need
tree
to
is
fill
for
up.
growing unique items. Similar to the equipment section, there are passives that let you target growing specific types of uniques or rarer uniques. The process of growth is not always a perfect one, however, and can result in some defects. This passive can result in birth uniques becoming foulborn, which mutates one of the existing modifiers on the item into a new one, resulting in some interesting new ways to use that unique. For example, this foulborn quill rain no longer has increased projectile speed, but instead
Area
has
of
increased area of
effect
effect.
is crazy. What?
Another
Ooh, on a
foulborn quill rain
bow?
could
Okay,
replace the
okay,
mana gained on
okay.
hit with the much more powerful modifier where insufficient mana doesn't prevent your bow attacks.
Wait, what?
Here are some other examples.
Chaos resistance.
This passive
That's
even
like
gives a rare
insane amount
chance
of
for
chaos
foulborn uniques to have
resistance.
multiple different modifiers mutated.
Listen, that means we're gonna
I'm
get some
sure you'll
chaos
come up with
enemies.
some extremely powerful uses for these.
I
We'll
do
leave
love
it
some
up to you
chaos.
to discover
breach
what
is,
this
like, all
mysterious path of the
chaos.
Genesis tree can grow. So, ultimately, you'll be slaying masses of breach monsters, harvesting
wait.
blood with the aid of your grafts,
I love
feeding that to the
spiders.
Genesis tree, growing some items and better grafts,
60% chaos
and back again
resistance
to the
is
slaughter.
insane. Yup.
Yeah, I
As
think
with
the
all our
max.
challenge leagues,
I don't
this
know
league
what the
will
max
come with
is
a
in
set of
PoE
40
1, but in
challenges to
2 it's
pursue,
75.
And completing
so like,
them will award you with the
almost
Keeper of
maxing
the
your
Flame
chaos
armor
resist
set,
is crazy.
allowing you to truly embrace becoming a
One
monk
item.
and worshipping the
one
dreamer.
Item.
I think that the
Now,
item is going to be
Graph
hella
skills
expensive.
won't be the only
though.
new tools to play with. In
gotta
327,
kill more
we're
stuff.
also adding a collection of new skill
Seed.
and support gems. Let's go over them now. Kinetic Rain is a new wand attack which covers the ground in unstable kinetic energy.
Oh,
These
Oh,
hazards
that's
collapse at
pretty.
the
I can't
slightest
tell if
touch,
it's ice or
releasing their
electric.
energies into any unfortunate
think he
soul who
said
happens
it
to be
was
standing near
Just
them.
like
electric.
energy.
With enough
Wow, that's
projectiles
so
and area of
pretty.
effect,
I'm not
an
sure
enterprising
though.
exile could carpet the world
might
in
be
dangerous
wrong.
kinetic force. Wall of Force creates a barrier of kinetic power, causing allied projectiles to ricochet towards targets automatically.
Holy
Drop one
shit,
behind the boss
shoot, man.
and redirect the bolts of your armies. I'm sure you'll find ways to break this one.
The Maven, oh
Conflagration is
god.
a new
I
bow
watched
attack,
Uber
which
Maven,
rains
she's
down
so
fiery
crazy.
bolts from above
That bow
stick
looks
into the
so
ground
cool.
and pulse
What the
as you
heck?
approach.
Yeah, it
Once
looks
you get
really
close
good.
enough, these bolts detonate, causing ravaging ignites.
Guys, I want to play
These
Path of
bolts
Exile
chain
1.
react, allowing you to create fields of incendiary destruction.
I want to play. Can the update come out today?
Thunderstorm
and
is a
not
bow
next
attack,
week, please?
which creates a whirling storm of wind and lightning where it
Whoa.
lands.
Soon.
While
Soon.
you're within the storm, it will rapidly grow until it becomes
wanna play
violently
today.
thunderous
I don't wanna
with
play next
lightning-infused
week, I wanna play today.
clouds.
They're just
At this
bringing
point,
Amazon
leaving the storm will
abilities.
cause it to detonate, dealing damage to everything within and releasing a flurry of tornadoes in all directions.
With less steps,
Attacking with
actually.
kinetic fusillade will create hovering orbs of energy. These linger for a few moments above you before zipping off to nearby targets, chaining
Oh,
between
gosh.
them, then detonating.
Ember
Living lightning
Fusillade.
support will bring to life living sparks of energy. Elemental minions that zap through packs of enemies
Oh,
with
I
speed
like
and
elemental
Oh.
minions.
Use
That's
these
so
alongside
cool.
your spellcasting to augment your pack clearing abilities.
Oh.
Or find whatever means possible to cover the world in living
Yeah,
sparks
I
of
can play
ruin.
today, but I can also have the new update.
Wind burst
next
support
week.
unleashes chaotic tornadoes as you attack, which ricochet around wildly and quickly.
Oh.
These deal moderate damage as they travel, but
One
will
of the things
explode
that I love
into a
about this
highly
game that's so
damaging burst when they
addictive is
expire.
just
So it's a
all
choice between
of the
scaling their
colors on the
duration
screen.
up to get better
Like over
coverage,
here with the
or
arrows,
down
yes,
to access the
I need
burst more
that.
quickly.
Just like 3-shot the
Kinetic
guy.
instability is a support gem to go along with the new wand attacks that causes
Three-shot.
enemies slain to leave behind those same orbs of shimmering energy.
Usually in
that
PoE
kinetic
1,
rain
it's a
creates.
one shot.
One might ponder just how many orbs you can create if you were to use both. In 327, exiles will be able to absorb the power of some of the bosses they defeat.
Okay.
These take the form of new Ascendancy class options called Bloodlines.
Wait, so we
Bloodline
defeat
classes
bosses
are
and
a
then we get
new
to
means
level
of
up?
character
Okay,
customization in the endgame. They are secondary Ascendancy classes that are unlocked by defeating specific endgame bosses. They are allocated with your normal Ascendancy points,
That's what
and
they
you'll
did
have
with
to choose how many of your
Abyssal
points
Lich.
go into the original Ascendancy and how many into your Bloodline class.
This means there is a nigh limitless
Path
ability
of
to mix
Exile
and
1,
match
you can
here,
one-shot the whole map.
as you could
oh, we're
choose to
gonna make it
invest just a
happen.
couple points into your bloodline, or max it out. And you could take any bloodline with any base Ascendancy class that you see fit.
Is this just for
To
this
unlock
league
your
though?
bloodline, hunt
Or is it
down the
gonna be
endgame boss
permanent?
whose power you desire and defeat them, or have a friend help and claim the power for your own.
Holy.
There are 10 bloodline classes to discover. Bosses who offer this power are typically associated with past
Oh.
leagues, giving
Oh, she's
additional
hot.
reasons to
Oh,
engage with that league
boom.
content.
Ho, ho, ho.
That's
Let's
cool.
run over a few examples.
Zoom
The
in on
Chaos
the girl,
Bloodline
yeah.
will be
Booger.
offered to you by the Trail Master
Show us
if
the
you
lady.
manage to succeed his final challenge.
We want to see her again.
With his blessing, you can greatly augment your Vow skills in different ways. Priest of Yalmak lets you use Vow skills much more often,
Holy.
while Priest of Kopek makes it harder to build up Vow skills, but makes
Val
them far more powerful.
skills.
Or take Corruption's Embrace, which grants more Vow Keystone powers the more corrupted items you have equipped.
Okay,
The
okay.
Ashabi bloodline can be gained by, you guessed
Wow.
it, defeating Ashabi. Her abilities are drawn from the 3 types of life force that manifest within as Marian spirits.
Wasabi.
The Wild Bear rewards you with adrenaline for generating rage.
Ooh.
The Vivid Cat gives your
Despite all
elusive
my
buffs a
rage.
chance to refresh, as well as making you more stealthy while elusive.
Ooh.
The Primal Owl allows your unleashed
Unsealed
spells to
spells.
reoccur many additional times, and get stronger for each time they reoccur.
Damn,
The
plus 3
nameless
maximum
bloodline
of
comes
seals
from
is
the King in the
crazy.
Mists.
They just
Be
keep
forewarned, his
making
menacing
more
power
stuff
comes at a great
every
cost.
time.
With the unseen hand, you can equip a
Oh
third
my
ring.
god!
But you'll have to decide if
Another
that comes at the
ring
expense of
for
having
your extra
no
hands.
amulet,
They're kind of going crazy.
no belt, or
My
no
gosh.
flasks.
Huh.
Unlight Silhouette adds a hefty life cost to all your spells, but they deal additional chaos damage based on the amount of life spent.
I
Of
like
course,
sacrificing
there
life
is more
for
to come.
damage.
What powers might you glean from delving deep
That's a
underneath
little
Raycross to
strange
fight all
though.
the
I don't
Crystal
know
King?
how that's gonna be.
What secrets can you learn from
get
Lycia,
life steal.
Herald of the Scourge,
Duh.
waiting at the end of the Forbidden Sanctum?
Just eat your life back.
As you can imagine, there are countless possible combinations with the system. You could be a slayer that embraces corruption and vile
God, I
power,
want to spin
or
like
perhaps you'll play an occultist that doubles down on their dark power by integrating the nameless blood.
Oh, look at all those rings.
We're excited to see what crazy and interesting groups players come up with.
I love having
In
more
the
rings
most
on my
recent
fingers.
Path of Exile 2 expansion, the Third Edict, we
But where's the
introduced a
ring pop?
much anticipated feature, fully asynchronous trade.
Okay.
It was a fantastic success. So now we're excited to announce that we'll also be adding this feature into Path of Exile 1.
They're
When
cowards
you
for
reach
not
Act
giving
6,
us
you'll
two
be
plus
able to
ring
find
slots.
Faustus in Lion Eye's watch. Previously, he just operated the currency exchange. Now, he will also act as a steward for your merchants
right.
tabs.
Girls, who's giving
These
me
are where
money?
you can place items for sale.
Who's
for
giving me
direct
items and
and
money?
instant purchase by other
Don't
players,
both get
even
excited
when you're
at
not
the
on
I
same
will
board.
time.
give you happiness.
To list an item,
Aw.
simply place it in the tab and select
But I
a
want
currency
money.
and an amount.
The happiness is.
Oh, I
Sorry,
think they did this
all out
one
of that.
too in the last update.
Once listed, other players will be able to find the item by searching for it via the trade website or the new in-game market search. To purchase something for yourself,
The
it's
happiness
as easy
comes
as
from a
hitting this
nice
button,
firm handshake.
which will teleport you to the seller's hideout.
Oh my
where
God,
you can
that
view their
person's name
merchants
was
tabs,
I Love
buy
Luke.
the item, and also view the rest of their wares in case something else catches your eye.
They should just add an
Every
option where I
purchase
can
costs a
steal
small
it.
fee of gold, as
Only me,
Faustus
though.
takes his
You like
cut.
put a little bag over
To
the
account for
shopkeeper's
this further
head.
drain on gold, acquisition and cost
Like, I'm
balance
getting
elsewhere
outta
in the game has
here.
been adjusted. Anything you've managed to sell successfully will have your profits collected here, in a separate tab to claim at your leisure.
Nice.
To be
It
clear,
took them so long
previous
to
means of
add that.
trading, such as via pre-existing premium stash tabs
Somebody said 10
and the
years and a
website,
whole other
will
game.
still function just as before. Merchants
It's always,
tabs
you know
and
what?
the asynchronous trading
I
that
find
comes
so
with
fun
them
about playing
are
these
an
type of
entirely
games.
additive feature
What
on
do you
top of
find
the
fun?
already existing methods to
Trying
trade.
to figure out, like, the slang and
You
all
might
that stuff
find
for the
yourself
game.
needing the trade
for,
system to
like,
buy some
shortcuts.
upgrades, because this update also
thought you meant,
introduces
like,
three
you know, like,
new
you
Uber
want to
Pinnacle
buy.
boss fights.
Or looking for Groot.
These
Yeah.
encounters are manifested from the memories of Zana,
Or
and in her long
I like
time,
figuring all
I
they
those
have
things out.
invested into something
I love
truly
Matara
deadly.
Khan.
Yeah. Oh,
These fights
Yeah.
offer an imposing challenge.
I'm not familiar with
alongside
that one.
powerful rewards.
Damn.
I'll start
In
using
order
that
to
more
gain
often.
access, similar to existing Uber Pinnacle fights, you'll need to discover
Oh my God,
fragments
I
dropped by
love
tier
that little
17
robot
map bosses.
fight. What the hell? Automaton?
Each attempt at the
Whatever
new
they're called?
Uber Pinnacle fights will require 5 of these. Let's dig into some of the challenges
was
you'll need to
cool.
face in these new Uber versions.
That's a lot of.
Uber.
In the original
Wonderful
incarnation of
loot.
Neglect fight,
Mm-hmm.
the statues can be used to block the laser beams to hide behind, giving you an opportunity to
Incarnation of
avoid being shot,
neglect.
frozen,
I
or
love how
killed.
he just
He
like,
was the
broke
middle
apart.
When you run
child
near
and
these
he's turned
statues,
into
they
Yeah, he
this.
was.
and allow you to reposition them.
Rip.
While activated,
Any
they
middle
will
children?
not stop the lasers, meaning you want to position them well, then avoid
This
them.
is what happens to your middle
However,
child.
In the Uber
Yeah,
version of this
neglected,
fight, instead of being a safe
dejected.
haven, the statues will refract the laser beams, causing a ruckus of energy to cover the arena.
I don't think I
Activating
know
them will
any
prevent the
middle
refraction.
children super cool. I
So
can't think of
unlike the
anybody
base
who's a
fight,
middle
where you
child.
want to position
Pull
them
one is
well
so much
and then
better.
avoid
I mean,
them,
Oh, that looks
You're
so
welcome to that way.
painful.
constantly
Holy
keep these statues
shoot.
active.
Oh my
Yeah,
But
but
then
god.
you have to deal with their assault of
Technically,
attacks.
I'm the best child because
Oh,
I'm
While
the only
fighting the
child.
incarnation of fear,
Let's go, Zed,
these
me
fiery
too.
orbs will slowly clutter up the arena, locking off portions of them
Oh,
until
hell
you bait the
no.
boss into detonating them himself
Wait,
with
what?
his
Wait,
thrown
what?
spear.
Do you have any siblings?
Yeah. I've
When Uberified,
two older and
these
then two
orbs are
younger.
attached by a flaming
Wait,
leash to
you
the
are
boss,
the middle child.
rotating
Yep.
around him constantly.
You are
Imagine
the
that.
neglected
More and more
middle
will
child.
spawn
Yep.
as the fight goes on,
Oh,
making
no.
it even more
her
imperative
to
that you
her own
clean them up
devices, she's
by
gonna have
cleverly
1,000
using the
hours in
boss's
Path of
abilities
Exile.
against him.
That's
what
why I
happens
became a
to your little
VTuber.
child.
I was
Do it.
neglected.
Normally in the incarnation
I
of Dread
neglect a
fight,
little girl.
during the
This makes
bullet
so
hell
much
phase,
sense.
you have to acquire a red rose, run it to
Funny
the boss,
how life works.
then collect a blue rose, doing the same, causing it to get heavy stunned and interrupting its mechanic. In the
Is
Uber
Incarnations
version, you have to
new,
do the
chat?
same. But in order to get the blue rose,
I don't think I
you
got
have to
this far.
defeat the incarnation of neglect. And to get the red rose, you have to defeat the incarnation of fear. Good luck.
Good luck, he says, as
Given the
they die.
difficulty
I
of these
love
bosses, their
Cinema.
reward should
I don't
be
like
worth
the
your
way
while.
they say that.
Let's
that. Oh, they're
take a
the
look at
endgame
some.
bosses from the last expansion.
Oh, God.
From the Uber incarnation of Neglect fight, we have Bitter Instinct, a spiky shield that turns retaliatory strikes into preemptive ones.
Oh, we already know
making it
what
just a
Quinn's
matter
gonna
of time
do.
before the
He's
long
gonna
arm
go
of
this
justice
build.
crushes your foes. Alternatively, you might find Festering Resentment, a
Festering
poisoned blade with an
Resentment, my
unending
favorite.
supply of toxins built into the hilt. These toxins are put to good use, causing every spell you trigger to be capable of poisoning with all
Oh,
damage
that's
it
so
deals,
sick.
enabling a truly crazy trigger-centric poison ruckus. And from the Uber incarnation of Dread, the
Hallowed Monarch.
Look
a
at the
counterpart
little guy
to the
in
Dark Monarch,
I love it.
which
He's
focuses more
switching the
heavily on investing
stances.
into
Oh,
one or a few minions.
What is that thing above
rather
his
than growing
head?
your
In the
hordes
It's
to
like
bubble.
has
massive
Yeah,
lasers.
and it
Storm
switches.
Raycloth with your
Oh,
chosen
that's
few
so
at your
cool.
side, stealing power from your enemies as you
Looking
go.
nice.
We've got a number of quality of life changes to bring to 327 as
I'm
well.
ready. I'm ready.
Many of which you may have
Well-
seen already in some of our pre-livestream teasers, but for those who haven't, Heist is a mechanic which has long frustrated some players who may otherwise have been interested in the rewards it has to offer,
My
but have
God.
no desire to grind through the
they
early
have a
progress of
replica of the
finding
Louvre?
and running low-level contracts to get all of the rogues to their maximum level.
Le Louvre.
Well, starting in 327, Heist rogues will automatically begin at maximum level.
I have not done
so
a
you can
heist
start
yet,
your
by the
dubious
way.
criminal
Oopsie
career
doopsie.
without all the busy work. Points invested into your Atlas passive tree will now be refundable with gold. Just speak to
Oh.
Kerak to do so.
Wait, I
For
thought that
players
was
who
always
love
a
jumping
thing.
between strategies, there's also an option to instantly refund your entire tree, which of course can
But
now
less
also be
grinding
done
is always
with your
good.
regular
One.
passive tree as
Less
well.
grinding is more playing.
Now you can make all your decisions with no regrets. Well,
That was half
maybe
a
some
million
regrets.
gold, so I don't know. I'm
you
definitely
no
feeling
longer
regret.
need to purchase bestiary orbs. You can now itemize beasts for free directly from your bestiary.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
From
Grab my
late
pork
Act
chop.
1, you can now
One
mass identify
Go
your
for
items
it.
at an NPC in every town. And from Helena in your hideout. This does not require scrolls of wisdom at
Wow,
all.
yes! Yes!
While using an alteration orb, you can now hold Alt
Big
to swap
quality
to
of
using
life
an
improvement
augmentation
there.
orb, if one is available. Opening a blight chest will now open all other blight chests near it.
That's awesome. So you don't have to click
Rogue's
a million
disenchanting
times.
services can now be accessed from towns and hideouts. Kerak missions now have a handy icon to
tap.
show at a glance what kind of mission they are. Holding down Control and right-clicking on stacked decks will now continuously open them to your inventory.
Oh, yes!
Notifying you in
yes!
chat what the outcome is.
yes!
If you still want to open them direct to
I'll
the
have to
ground,
do it
Don't you
to
like
one
let
by
your loot
one.
filter provide a dose of
Frick.
dopamine, you can still do that too by also holding Shift.
Why did it take
Vial
so
orbs
long?
can be used on monsters encased
Where am I
in
gonna put
essences,
all this loot,
to
huh?
the same effect that remnants of corruption have.
Where?
My community gave
When
me like
multiple
a
skill
bunch of
gems are ready
stacks
to
and I
level
had
at
to
the
do
same
it
time,
one by
you'll now
one,
be able
one
to
by
click
one,
this
and it was
button
so
to level them all up at
painful.
once. Next up, we're going to be
content,
talking
though.
about our new League supporter packs.
Oh.
Today, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs. The Champion of Theopolis and the Verdant Magus packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in
Yeah,
points,
but
alongside several exclusive
But.
microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression
that's
in any
sick.
way. The Champion of Theopolis series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. Manifest a champion's ferocity, as the Lion's Might unique finisher effect rips your enemies to shreds.
It's so cool.
Open the Champion of Theopolis portal to end your crusade through maps in the style expected
nice
of a
portal.
true victor of the arena.
It doesn't.
Defeat your enemies
prefer
like
my
a true
Path of
gladiator,
Exile 2
wearing the
portal, though. It's a
Grand
little
Champion
frog.
of Theopolis armor set. The armor awarded only to the most elite warriors of the Grand Arena. Take charge
Grand
of the
Arena.
situation
This one is
and
so
storm
cool.
into combat with the Flaming Minotaur's Quicksilver Flask effect.
Zen, this one is so you.
The Champion's Podium map device rises up to honor the glory you've achieved as you activate it.
That's so sick.
Ascend the stairs and stand atop the platform as you enter your maps. Each flame surrounding the platform represents a remaining use on your portal.
Ooh.
The Burden
It's an
Back Billy
intimidating
Goat
looking skill
carries
tree.
all the
It
supplies
is.
necessary for a campsite
Oh my God,
as he
I love
travels
him.
behind you in battle.
Well, that looks nice.
When placed in a hideout, instead of roaming around like your other pets, their supplies are deployed, creating a small camp
He's
where
a
you can
lazy
access your
little
stash
guy.
and providing a place to take a load off while you rest next to the campfire.
I love him.
The Verdant Magus series
Yeah,
contains
but-
6 exclusive microtransactions.
Is that the one you're getting, Yuzu?
But
It's really nice.
Having Faustus sell your items on your behalf is great and all, but sometimes you just want to feel a little bit more shady about your dealings. The Back Alley Trader hideout decoration
hell no.
is more
That's
secretive
so
with your
cute.
trades, creating
Your
distance between you and
dealer.
your customers. Note that until 327 is released, this Back Alley Trader will only serve as your currency exchange. Once it's out, it will be updated
That's
to have the
really
new
funny.
managed shop option
I
to
like
also
that.
facilitate your trades. The Verdant Wayfinder pet is a loyal companion to any Master Magus. As you approach waypoints,
God, you look
it envelops
so
them with its
cool. Are you
vines,
kidding me?
guiding you throughout Rayclast.
oh my gosh.
Control Earth and nature itself, as the Great Verdant Magus armor set envelops you in the ancient power now lost to time. There's also a matching
The
back attachment
haggification
included.
of Yuzu begins.
Remnants of the forest ripple out from within you with the Verdant Magus level up effect equipped,
Wow.
restoring life to the corrupted land. Call on an ancient golem to use their power to create a safe passage for you to
Waiting
retreat through
for the
with
day
the arcane
that the
golem portal.
levitate
Pretty cool.
cosmetic is not linked
I'm
to the
getting that
body
As a
portal.
Supreme
armor.
Verdant Magus, you can travel to your arcane isle hideout. A cluster of islands
I'm getting
held
that
together
portal
by
skin, everybody,
ancient
just letting
magic
you know.
passed down between elite mages. Stand atop your tower and relish the great heights you've reached above those who have not harnessed the arcane.
Take my
Holy.
money.
These packs are now available for purchase on both PC and console and will remain so during Path of Exile, Keepers of the Flame. Additionally,
Nice.
any microtransactions from these supporter packs will be made available for use
Welcome,
in Path of
Raiders.
Exile
Thank you,
2.
Athena.
Oh,
Thank you,
Oh,
you.
Meanwhile,
That's cool.
the Crypt Keeper and Frisian Magistrate packs leave the store forever at the launch of the Keepers of the Flame League.
all right,
So
y'all.
now's your last chance
Do
to
your
purchase
final
them.
shopping.
Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
I already bought
We're
mine.
just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post the full
yeah,
patch
Ziggy.
notes for Path of Exile, Keepers of the Flame at 11 a.m. New Zealand time, 3 p.m. Pacific. With release at the
Specific.
end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news. Thanks
On
for
the
joining us
news.
today
I
and
love that.
checking out our latest developments. We're looking
Amazing.
forward to holding off the Breach Lord's conquest, crafting gruesome grafts, planning dozens of bloodline-empowered builds, and filling out our trees tree. We hope you all join us.
Specific.
All right, now's your pee-pee break time, everybody.
Boy.
Now's
Good
your-
thing I already went.
Go again.
G'day
But-
Exiles and welcome to the post-reveal
I don't need
discussion
to.
and Q&A with Jonathan and Mark, lead
Why does
guys
Jonathan
who make
and Mark
games.
look like
I
they're
believe that's what we
brothers?
discussed as the
Official,
titles.
yeah,
That's the
official title. Yeah.
Excellent.
white
I like it.
men.
It's good.
They
We're
don't
talking
look
about
like
how to
they're
inflate their
brothers.
No,
titles,
it's
so
their
we'll
freaking
leave it up to this.
beard. It's their dang beard.
That's just how
327
white
Keepers
men
of the
grow a
Flame, the
beard.
reveal. We just had there.
He doesn't have the
was,
same
I
beard
think,
and he's
quite a banger,
white.
but I've been even more impressed with what I've been playing here in the office.
They very
with,
clearly
some of
all
that,
look
so we'll
like
get into
different
that in a
white
moment.
men.
But I'm curious, this
Yuzu.
is kind of like a special
Mark
kind of reveal day for
and
PoE1 fans, as
and
I
John
think
look
it
look
marks
like
a return
brothers.
to schedule for us.
Oh
you,
my God.
announced this plan to do the
No.
4-month cycle for the games, two twos, and it seems
It's
to be
so
working.
over.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly hard. I'll tell you that, right? Like, it can be pretty brutal on some of the stuff when it's like, every 2 months you got a deadline.
Sorry, now I'm like
But
looking.
yeah, I mean, look, we have to do it, right? Like, I mean, that was always the intention to get, the regular schedule. It's super important.
I
So we
have
just
to say,
we have to make it
how the
happen.
heck do
We
they
have to make
find the
sure
time
that
for this?
is something that we
Like,
can do going forward.
They just did
but
a
yeah,
crazy
I would,
update
like,
for
I'm
Path of
honestly,
Exile 2.
I'm
Now they're
so
doing
happy
this
that we
update,
managed
like,
to get
they're
everything back, and I think
insane.
it helps a lot.
I think like things feel a
I
lot
think a
less
lot
like
of stuff
crazy
also
here
is
this
added
time.
like
Is it for
from
me, like,
2 to 1 and 1 to 2
and things
though.
seem a
So
bit more
like
of a finished
it
state
just
as well
works
from what I'm
together
looking at, so.
anyways.
Well, we put in a lot more
It
effort into sort of
just
getting that production
works.
process down, making sure that everything's, going
It just
well.
works.
Like, we're hiring producers at the moment, just by the way, in case anyone's out there. It's like looking
to produce the game.
as a for a production
think
job.
Path of Exile 1 and 2
But
have
yeah,
That would make
it's something
sense.
that we're really concentrating on, making sure that because when you've got a schedule like this, when it's this tight, you have to be really, really careful because like I would say one of the hardest things that we didn't expect, trying to make sure that
Oh,
we
they're
get
talking about it now.
the schedule this short, is you start to become really vulnerable to just like random things, like this person gets sick or like something like that, and it's like suddenly it's like a real challenge.
I love how the real
that's
challenge
been,
is, somebody
real
got
hard to adapt
sick.
to. But yeah, I mean, honestly,
It's true,
we have to
though.
do
Yeah,
it.
That's
because
what's up with big
PoE2's
deadlines.
030 kind of we missed it by a week or two as well.
Yeah,
We're like, normally that's okay.
Yeah.
You slip a week or two, but now all of a sudden now you got a bit
Great
2 week more
seasons, by the
overlap
way.
with
What the heck?
327,
Yeah.
and you
Look at
know
those shoesies.
it certainly has less room for error. But again, that's why more production staff should help, and we are just going to get better at it.
Yeah.
But yes, we made it to 326 and now 327, mostly on schedule, give or take.
They made it.
But one was you could argue one's an anomaly, 2 is a pattern. So hopefully
I am
it should
excited.
continue as
They
normal. But
really,
yeah,
like,
we'll get better at 100%.
overpromised and they're
We'll work
so
out
far
the kinks. But
delivering.
there's always going to be some growing pains to going to 6 releases a year for both across both Path of
Wow.
Exile. So
Yeah, I remember
6
thinking
releases
when you
a
guys were doing
year.
4 releases a year that was crazy. So
I have to say,
6 is pretty
GGG
wild, but
has been
it seems to be happening. So
so
fingers crossed
good
it
to
keeps
us.
happening.
Every single
is the
update,
contingency
they're
just
like,
that like
"Hey,
occasionally you
guys,
just might delay by a
would you
few
like
weeks
to
here.
watch?
I
And it's
don't
been
want to. I really
incredible.
want to
I
be
love having
really strict
long-term
about it.
partnerships.
You're going
with
to
them.
take this
we
free
said we'd
update
stick to the
and you're
time
going to
and
like
adapt
it.
the
You're gonna
content
love
around the
it. You're
time.
gonna
Like
love it.
consistency
You're
is
gonna
key.
see it.
So hopefully we can keep doing that. That's still our current philosophy and plan. So yeah.
I think you were telling me once before, Jonathan, that
Yeah, free
when you
game,
have
by
that
the way,
for a
everybody.
while,
I encourage you to check it
kinda
out
helps
now
everyone
before
get an
next
idea
week
of
if you've
like
never played it.
scoping
Hell
a lot
yeah.
better
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
content
I mean,
wise.
look, it helps with everything, right? It helps with the players, just feeling the consistency. It helps with
Yeah.
like developers. Like it's just overall like a way better state to be in.
Oop, oop, oop.
So, Breach 2, aka Keepers of the Flame. It's the first real direct sequel league in PoE. Now, I know we're kind of sequeling with stuff in PoE 2. There's like definitely follow-ups there, but this is the actual first true
Oh my God, I
sequel
just noticed
league,
they
and
added more
it
stuff in the
seems like
background,
people
I
are pretty
think,
keen
from
on the
last
idea.
time.
I
No?
think the reception's been pretty good
They
so
added
far.
the
First
leaves.
impressions.
Were the leaves there last time?
What are your guys' thoughts on doing a sequel? Were you like
Can't believe that's
anti-sequel,
the first thing you
pro-sequel? Because I know
noticed.
people
I
kind of...
mean, I would say
That's
personally
crazy.
that
Not a
like
photo
so
to
whenever you do a
confirm.
sequel, you're entering a dangerous territory because people who didn't like the original could then now be like, oh, I'm disappointed because like as soon as they hear that it's a sequel to something they didn't like, they're like, it's not happy. So you could just be ruling out a bunch of people in your audience right away. Now, Breaches, I would say, is a pretty popular one, so like
Yeah,
there's less
I
danger
love
there.
Breach. It's
But
my
effectively, in order to
favorite
make a sequel
one.
to something, I think you really have to be doing something that had to be a real banger back when you did it, so that people actually are definitely on board from the beginning. In general, I'd say we'd prefer to do stuff that's like new, but I think this one was a good fit. It was a good example of something to do, and yeah, people are liking it. So
It's I mean, as Jonathan said, yes, like some
I always
leagues are
just
more
wanna hear,
divisive
like,
than
the
others. Some have
beginning
more
of
kind
it,
of
'cause
X
they might
factor out there
answer some stuff
gameplay,
that's
with the whole Blight
important.
Tower defense and
Yeah.
some of them are
before I
more
go through
maps
video
and a bit
games.
more crazy. And immediately you do turn off some people, and we know that going in. When we make these, we try and make it, something good for everyone. But
God, I'm so
but Breach
excited
had
about all
that
the
just like you're just
spider-looking
slaying
stuff, by the
hordes of
way.
monsters. You're just killing.
Purple
It's
and
the
spiders
classic,
is just my
we
favorite
talk about
stuff.
reinventing the wheel here. We talk about not reinventing the killing monsters in circles, and it has that. And by the way, that is a massive thing when doing the sequel. Is we're like, we must keep the killing monsters in circle, because the last thing I want to do is, and this is another risk of a sequel, is take something that people love and then just ruin it.
Right.
So
They're ruining
we really
it.
focused on the weaknesses
They
of
did
what
not
Breach
ruin
had
it.
because it was
Fair enough.
I
nine
really
years ago, almost to
both
date. I
games,
think
but
it was.
damn,
I think it was
Path of Exile
December,
2, I don't know, I
December
think
9
it's
years
a
ago. So we're almost there. Yeah, just if you want to
Path of
feel a
Exile
bit
1
old
is
for a
very
moment
nice.
there.
My back, ow.
I you know, and I actually still remember working on it. It does not feel like it was that long ago. I made those 5, you know, the 5 Breach Lords back when, and you know, put together all the monsters and all that interesting stuff back then. And I was like, what?
It must
what
be
was I
crazy
doing?
to be
Like,
working on a
we
game for
took
so
the player
long,
characters,
right?
put some micros on them, and
Like
dumped them
being
in
on the
bed.
team from the beginning.
It was like, so it's not only been fun to come back and do a sequel, which, by the way, we've codenamed Breakwool, just to
Very
obviously
Breakwool.
give
The
a-
whole process of being there to see it
but
all.
Important.
we've coming
How
coming
old is
with
Path
like
of
9
Exile
years of
2? I
lessons
think less
learned,
than a year old, right?
including you know with the
my
all the lessons
Maybe
learned
around
from
a
PoE2
year
as well,
old.
and then coming back and
Oh,
being
a
like,
year
what
old
can
on
we
December
what do we
I think
know
it's 2
now
years.
that we didn't know back then?
A year old
and
on
it's like,
December
okay, let's
14.
not sabotage the gameplay, the killing
Oh,
of
wow.
monsters, the killing
Less
monsters
than
in
year,
a
can you
circle.
believe that?
It feels
And
They've
let's
already had
focus on the
so many
weaknesses. And so then we
updates.
looked at, okay, well, nowadays if we were to do a league, it generally comes with, you know, some character
I have a
power
question
arc,
for
you've
the
got some
old Path of
crafting
Exile
system,
lovers. How many
you know, there's
total
generally a
update
meta
Path of Exile
system,
1
and then
has
that's where you get like the grafts, the Genesis tree, and all
I am
that stuff
curious, is it
come in.
like
And
30
Yeah.
at
again,
this
focusing
point?
on that,
I mean,
less
this
of
game's
like
been out for like
you
10
know,
plus
focusing
years,
on the
so-
combat
Yup.
mechanic this time around because
I want somebody
we
to do
kind of
the
knew
math.
that was a success.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll find that you know might be less
Time to do the
trivial
math
with
check.
some of the other contents that's a little bit more like crazy with respect to combat.
Yeah, every update.
We'll see.
Definitely
Every
need to
update.
dive into like basically
40
all
plus
of the things you
easy.
mentioned there. But out of interest, what's like a league mechanic or a expansion that you either would or wouldn't want to sequel at some point? Like, what would be a
Ooh.
bad example?
Ooh,
That's
I like
maybe
that.
Interesting.
Well, I think the one that you said there with the tower defense stuff, it's just like that would be very divisive, right? Immediately, if we
tower
said
defense.
doing a sequel in PoE onto that, there'd be immediately a
would be
bunch of people would be like,
divisive,
yeah,
but I love tower
I
I know,
defense.
but then a lot of people
think
don't,
you'll get
right?
both ends of
I
the
actually
spectrum.
hated the
most
tower
passionate
defense.
people,
That was my
Exactly,
least
right?
and then you get
favorite.
the most people that hate it on the other side.
Right.
No.
For sure.
Yeah.
Getting
That being
mixed
said,
signals
like,
here.
It isn't
Somebody's
like,
saying
oh
50,
no, that means
45
Neblight's
so
never getting
far.
improved.
Right.
There's differences between
Apparently there's been
overhauling and improving
45
a
updates
league,
of Path of
and there's
Exile. Thank you,
and
everybody.
obviously doing a narrative sequel
That's
where
awesome.
you kind
I'm
of
glad
step away
they're
from some
aware
of it.
that
you know,
the
so
the player base hates the tower defense
really
because I
here it's
freaking
like,
hated
yes,
that.
Blight,
part of the player
there's so many
base and
leagues,
I
right? And so
love
all of them will get attention. Sometimes they'll just be quality of life, similar to what we've done with Heist this time round. Because honestly,
I haven't
that
had the
might
chance to
probably
do
deserves
Heists yet.
more.
Have y'all
And
done
then
them,
other times
girls?
it'll just be an upgrade.
Or not yet?
Not yet.
I
be it either
certainly,
Well,
I
it's like
certainly
endgame
wouldn't want
content.
people to say, "Oh yeah, we're just going to do sequels from now on." That would
Endgame
definitely
content
not.
is
Like,
like
I don't think it's going to be the most
bosses.
common thing. I think it's just a thing we decided to do here, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe we'll do it again sometime. But most of the time, I think people want new stuff and you know, different new things.
I like the revisits. I wonder. There's definitely some lore and stuff I'd like to see expanded. Like I feel like Harbinger, for example, touched on some stuff that was maybe only scratching the surface.
Part of what allows us to do the sequel here, by the way, and from a more production point of view,
Yeah.
is that because we did the Twisted Domain and the new Breach monsters in PoE2,
Yeah.
we got to utilize the monsters. So we didn't take the bosses from PoE2. We made full from scratch boss fights for this
boss
for Keepers of the Flame.
Dun, dun, dun.
But for the monsters, a lot of it's reusing the models, the animations, the rigging, a lot of the art side of it.
I feel
And
like when
because
you're
we
also
get to do
making
that,
monsters,
we get
there's
to
only
then focus
so
our
many
attention on
different
all
types
those
of
other
monsters
things
you
that
can
we would
have, right?
otherwise
That's
have
a
to have
crab,
a bunch of
that's a
resources
spider,
dedicated
that's a
to.
bug, that's a man.
So like, there's a kind of like
That's
two
your
birds, one
unlimited
stone going on
imagination.
there, where we not only got to do it, we got to do it in a more cost-effective
everything
way that
almost
allowed
kind
us
of
to
been
focus on
imagined
other
already?
features that are going in
I
the
think for
expansion.
PoE,
So,
I think they
we
can
win for
benefit
players
from
and
more
for us in
like
that regard, but
religious aesthetics.
it would be
'cause
less
they're, like,
trivial with other
hella-
sequels or some
like
other leagues where
holy
we don't
religious
How about a
necessarily
giant
necessarily
mountain
have
crab?
all the monsters and
They
everything made
love
like that.
dark
so,
fantasy,
not to say it's
dark.
The size of a
but
mountain.
It's just
void
an
stuff.
interesting
Like,
factor that came up that allowed
Almost
us
like
to
the
do
Warhammer
more
esque
here than we
aesthetic
might.
of like the
If we don't
religious
forward think enough or
symbolism, all
forward
that, you
plan
think they
enough,
would
and I
need
mean
more of-
quite
they
far
have
in
a little bit of
advance, because
that,
like
no?
making these full monsters from scratch is not
like the
a
dark-
They
short-term
kind
process.
of do, but not a lot.
We might not be able to do for some other leagues. So,
What kind of monsters
just
would y'all like to
kind
see
of
in
fun
here?
internal kind of consideration that we made.
Well, like an interesting
Giant
thing here
mountain
as well,
crab.
with the fact that
Giant
breaches in
mountain crab,
PoE
yep,
2.
that
And I
works
don't
for
normally
me.
get into lore, so lore warning.
I'm trying to
But,
think what I would love to see as a
I'll try and keep it as
monster.
oversimplified as possible because I definitely have delved into the deep end of the lore of this stuff. But
I feel like
so
maybe
to
we
PoE
simplify
just
it,
sounds like a
Pokemon,
lot of
Chayula,
blood
baddie, we
cult,
fight them. They're like the
eldritch,
pinnacle
dark
boss from the
fantasy,
first
like
game. And yet in PoE 2 they like
vibes.
explicitly not
What
there
about a
as part
giant
of the boss
island
of that. And also
crab?
there's this lore kind of exploring the idea that they help
Crab. What about a
humanity at some
giant
point.
coconut
So
crab?
I'm curious if this expansion
Bigger
is kind
crab.
of filling out the story.
I think you're
and
on
in
the way.
between here. maybe
Everybody,
explaining
Yuzu
some
has a
stuff.
hype train.
It 100%
Make sure you
is.
give her money so
that was
she
a
can buy
huge
her supporter
other
pack
win we
5
got
bucks.
to do here. Because
Yeah.
really there was like, okay, there's the
No.
breaches in PoE 1,
Don't
you know,
fund my
previous to Keepers of
addictions.
the Flame.
I
And
do
then
tend to
there's
love
kind
snake
of
monsters.
breaches in
I
PoE
love,
2
like,
with the
snake
Twisted
men or
Domain.
women, like
And it's
Lamia
like,
style. I love
wait, how did we
heart.
get here? What happened? Okay, so it's 25 years.
I would
It's-
love more of
what's going on
those.
here? So we wanted to, given again, because 9
I
years
like-
ago
I
we
think they're
weren't
called
really
kobolds,
putting that
where
much
they're
into the
like the
narrative
little
of
guys
leagues.
with
What
and
about
so,
a giant mud
you'd,
crab?
You'd find back then, I mean,
What about a bigger
you know,
mud crab?
we're not far from Onslaught
feel like they
League
already
back
have
then,
mud
right? It
crabs.
was
You're
just
onto
20% of some
something.
stats. So, and even when we had Anarchy, there was Exiles, but like there's, you know, there's named characters, but we didn't really have voice acting for anything. You know, like we've kind of stepped up our game in a lot of delivery of that. So now we get to, you know, come back and go, let's establish a bit more about
Yuzu
Breach.
is poor
Obviously, there's
confirmed.
uniques and
No,
flavor
no, she
text
just spent a lot
historically,
of
but
money
yeah,
on
we
this
got to
video
establish a little bit more.
Jesus.
Add some interesting stuff to it. Meanwhile,
Pull her
also,
out.
yeah, progressing the narrative towards what if people are playing PoE 2 see. Now that being said, if you just play PoE 2, you don't need to know all of this. If
Do
you
you
just
guys
play PoE 1,
actually play? Yeah.
good on you.
How
You
many
now know
hours
it
you
all.
got in the game?
You know, it's all entirely optional information to know.
I don't know, maybe like
Um,
600.
Yeah, you kind of have this.
Yeah, she got a
I mean,
lot. I am a
worth
lot
noting,
more.
you know, on the
of
kind
a
of
baby.
Chiola arc,
I've only
you
played
know,
this one for
there's
6.
a bit of like,
Yeah.
is he good, is he
Me
bad
too.
kind of thing going on. Still to be determined,
But Yuzu's
at least for
got-
the players.
And I'm
I've got a
still
cult
down.
following, but that doesn't necessarily mean one way or the other, does it?
Also,
You know,
thank you for the
like,
5
here's a
gifted.
baddie here, you're an acolyte of Chiola over there.
Yeah.
What goes on?
Gen
in between?
Z,
I was
thank you
reading
for the
flavor
also
text of the
5
Last time when we
Chiola
played
this
Path of
morning, I'm
Exile
like, even that
1,
doesn't
we
really,
played the
like,
two of the
kinda
3 of us,
suggests
right,
that
girls?
maybe it's not a good idea to be
Yep.
following them, but
I think
remember I
there's
got-
power.
I think the last one I
Like the
played
monastery of the
solo,
Keepers of
and then
the
I joined you
Flame
guys
is
afterwards.
actually where the
Yep,
monk
yep.
trained
Yuzu
and
plays
from
over there.
PoE 2 grew up and all of that stuff. So kind of little fun bits there. People playing both games
Kinda
will
stream did you
appreciate it.
join?
It's still
We're
great.
talking about what
They're
monsters
They're going to be
we'd love
great
to
in
see
either
added in
game
Path
and
of
allows
Exile,
us to
my angel.
develop. So because look, they're both set in Ray
I
class. It's
love,
still a
by the way,
shared
those
narrative,
like water
and it's nice to be able
elemental
to like
enemies
evolve all of
as
that.
well. I
and,
always
you
love
know,
those.
It's honestly been
Undynes
fun,
and
really.
things like
Honestly,
that.
doing all of that.
Ugh.
It's cool to expand kind of like some of the story of the Ascendancies
Hear me
there
out
as
then.
well. Like
How
you're
about a
getting a bit more of
big
a
crab?
tie in there as well. But you said the monks trained there.
What about a
though. I
giant
thought you were
water
just telling me
crab?
earlier that the monks trained
What about
here
a
in the studio.
giant
What's
water
that?
crab?
Yeah, so technically now, officially, the
about a
monk has been
sexy giant
trained
water
by
crab
one of our IT administrators here, since that was the.
I don't think that's
he was
too
the
much
person
crap.
we. He's I'm not sure what the martial art is, but you know he's very well
That's
trained. I
too
believe a
much
black
crap.
belt, and
Lobster
we
lady.
used him for our mocap reference.
That's so cool.
Hopefully he doesn't mind me mentioning
I-
that, but you know it's it was
I don't
quite
know
it's
how
quite
to
fun.
feel
I think our
about that.
animators enjoyed that one a little bit as well. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't. You guys
actually,
hadn't
Matara,
really
that's
done too
already
much of that
in
the
Path of
past,
Exile too.
or-
You mean mocap?
Yeah, like
I mean, the
We just
animators
haven't
always
gone there
film
yet.
visual references. So, like, I mean, they've got a room basically where they
True.
go up and they're just.
There's a big crab boss in Path of Exile 1 with the lady
doing all
on
the
it.
animation, acting out. They're often not actually mocapping
See, Zed, you're
technically
getting
with
all
like
your
the
desires.
suit and everything, but they're often filming
Finally.
that and then doing animation to it.
The,
So
Yeah.
the
it's pretty
tech,
common.
I'd say one of the most useful pieces of technology that we've been able to benefit from is it's a literally single phone shot mocap and
Yeah.
very quick from recording to in-game animation. It works really well for animating obviously humans, but
helps.
also for when it's involving just a single human. It's like ultra quick. Like if you have two and they have to interact and make contact, it's not very good at handling that. But it's
I'm
been
so
insanely
distracted
fast.
by
So you
his
just get a
shoelaces. They're so
single small
green.
tripod with a phone, and you can record a human and chuck it in game pretty
you know what would be
rapidly.
cool?
So
You know how
that's
when
been
gargoyles
amazing,
get
and
up
honestly,
from
a lot
cathedrals,
of
if you like walked in and
almost
it's like
all
a
of the
beautiful
human animations are
garden
now
with
see in game,
roses, and then like there's
where it's
beautiful
not
porcelain
someone
naked
punching or
ladies,
hitting
and
another
then they all
person. So
get
like,
up from the
it's not,
porcelain and start attacking
you know,
you.
the best
Oh
for
my.
combat
Or
and
is that
kind
just
of
my fantasies?
scripted cinematic interactions between characters, but just those kind
know,
of
like,
freestanding town
almost like
idols and all of
those-
that stuff,
yeah.
you can do pretty rapidly
That would
now. to
Nice.
been pretty big improvement,
have
I'd
that
say,
already?
in a cool way. So.
Guys,
Yeah, and I mean, you're getting like PoE2 quality stuff in
Oh,
part
one
of Exile
Act
1 as
3?
well. Like,
God
I've
damn
definitely
it.
seen things like that's a lot more going on there than there usually
Golden
is in PoE1.
statues of
We were
women
just
that
talking about
attack.
the fact that
I
the
love it.
original bosses were just exiles with extra color filters on them, right?
They have- they have that in 2 as
everything new
well.
that goes into PoE 1 like has been a lot higher standard than some of the early stuff for a
Yeah.
very long time,
I think
right?
they should be
Because it's not
like
like
that white
it's not like you have people
porcelain,
being like,
you know?
oh, you know what, I'm going to make this worse quality because it's going in PoE 1. Like obviously they're going to make
What's
something
the
look as good
make
as we can make it,
Well,
right?
our artists are
everything-
artists,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly,
They
right?
just
So
make-
I mean,
Yeah, they just
they've
put
got to
joy
get it
in the
back.
game.
You could probably phone it in a bit more, I reckon.
They
but-
don't. No, an artist doesn't want to do that, right? They want to make stuff
No,
fair.
don't
that's
phone
good.
it in more.
So
Who wants to-
We
who
love
wants
that
to
you
do
guys
that?
are
Yeah,
working
It's a
appreciate
hard.
quick way to remove their job satisfaction.
Right.
Make bad stuff.
yeah.
It's too good.
Yeah, love
fair
it.
enough. So you mentioned the sanctity of the kill monster in Circle. So on the mechanical front, I noticed that there's actually 2 distinct types of breaches here. There's very much close to the original one, but then there's this hive one. What are the differences between the two? And how
So
they
we've
work?
got, we've got 4 encounters total. At the more common one is the kind of what we're saying is the hive. So the breach have come through those the hand portals. They've stabilized the breach and are now building their hives.
God, I can't wait to
And so
feed
you'll come
my
across
blood
there's heaps
tree.
of walls and constructs
have it
and
birth me
some
weapons.
half organic, half inorganic. And you get the little spider things, which I
Wait to
think
use
is
my
the
little
Twitch drop
free
for the
arms.
stream. You get those and they're kind of building and they're like putting together like molecule by molecule building these hives. And that's the one where you come in and you get given the power of the Keepers of the Flame, and that can just incinerate away all of the material, and you're kind of just like running around pretending to be a Righteous Fire build for a moment.
I'll just note as well,
I
like, you don't
love
have to click any
Righteous Fire.
doors or like
yeah,
jump
no,
into
no,
any
no.
doors.
Nice.
They just evaporate before
You just run around. You
Oh.
run
I'm just
around
happy
burning
I'm gonna have
stuff. It's kind
extra
of
hands for
satisfying. You
casting
see
abilities.
ash going
Extra
everywhere.
hands for wearing
Um,
rings. That's
There's
what
a
I
couple
want.
things going
Gonna
on
be
there.
so cool.
But
Dude.
generally when you get to the center, you summon an Aelith, you start the encounter. And effectively just kill a whole bunch of monsters. They're trying to get to her. They're trying to kill her. They're not super effective at it. We're not doing the whole like, they are persistently wanting to aggro on her. They're going to try and kill you.
They just
That's
seem to go for
honestly
it, yeah.
more of an immersive flavor
Righteous
thing than
Fire
it is
got
like meant to be
Giga-nerfed?
too
Oh, why
interruptive
did
of a
Giga
mechanic or
nerf
anything like
it?
that. Again, because I wanted to just keep killing monsters being the primary focus.
But there is a thing where the more walls you burn, the more
Yeah,
stuff you
there's
get.
amongst all the walls, you can get these like spawners, these like hive portals, where the monsters can then come through. So if you want to activate more, to have more monsters, have more difficulty, and get more reward, you want to burn as many of those hive spawners as possible,
Don't
and
burn
then they
them.
will turn into portals once the fight begins.
They spawn
If you just want to
spiders
run to the
into it.
center, start the fight, do the fight, and leave, go for it. The other thing here is though that of course. Obviously, this can be a bit of a clear, speedy thing where it's like,
Yeah.
So during those encounters, using the power of the purple flame, these kind of purple flames scatter out, and each of them kind of has a skill attached, just like an oh shit button. And so like if you're getting overwhelmed, there's like different things you can just click if you wanted to, if you needed to. Most powerful characters, you'll be fine.
They should make
just
a
as it
new
kind of like will send out
starting
a giant nuke
character
and
that's
clear
just a
stuff, or like
really
create this like
hot,
flame wall
voluptuous
and anything that
woman
runs into it will burn.
that
and
has
it's
all
honestly more to
of the
help out
tree,
players that
like,
are kind of struggling or on the
unlocked
weaker
already,
end and
and then
aren't
she
able
could
to kind of keep
play,
up with it. So it just normalizes the difference between
any
bottom end and
class,
top end
and
a
she
bit.
could get any unique item or any
Again,
item
not
that
meant
she
to be
wants in the game
intrusive,
for
not
free,
meant to
and
be
she's
like
just, literally
complicated. We
the
kept
most
it
OP
simple,
thing
and
ever,
it's
and she's
just like
hot.
99% of it.
I mean,
just
wanna have
when
a
you
power
boil it down, it's
fantasy of playing
basically
as a
just like a
hot-
fast-paced
Is
wave
she
of
also
defense.
just
like,
hot?
just survive
Yeah.
6-8 waves of
Pretty
monsters
much,
that
yeah.
are rushing at you pretty fast.
User
and-
needs to be on that
but it doesn't
death
have that same
stream
clear speed pressure
immediately.
that the
With those
basic
ideas.
one has.
Yeah. So that's one
Amazing.
encounter. Second encounter is like the
User-
traditional
user, you
breach,
need
the
to be
one
on
that
that couch
players
with them.
have,
And they should
historically
make
been
her
playing.
have
You activate a thing, the
a
breach
giant
expands out. So
crab
these are breaches
pet
that haven't
and
been
then
stabilized
a
yet.
giant
So
cockroach
they haven't come
pet,
through to
and
build their
then
hive.
she
So
has
you
moth wings
activate
and moth
it,
ears.
It starts expanding. You kill all the monsters. It's revealing, and then once you've killed enough, and if you can kill enough, like it can be kind of hard early
like
game,
that.
but like towards
Yeah.
end game,
Can
that's
the
your
cockroach
goal.
be on, like, a pink
You'll notice a
fuzzy
progress bar filling
Yeah.
up, and once the breach gets to the end, that means that it will become stable. And so
I'm
what was
cute.
going to happen
I'm a
is when
cute
it
cockroach.
becomes
I'm not like
stable,
other
the
cockroaches.
breach are going to send through their like difficult monsters, their elites, their enforcers, their front line to come through and secure the area so they can send through their like little worker spiders to
believe
start
you're cooking
building their
this much
hives.
stuff,
So
you
this
guys.
is like
I
a
just have to say, I am in
yet to be a
awe.
hive. And so
I feel like
you obviously you don't
they
witness all of
just- They are
that.
very
Generally, what you
excited
do
about this.
experience is you kill enough
Like 4 months
monsters,
ago, and now
and
there's
then in
another
the
one.
center the portal
I'm
activates,
in
and a
awe.
bunch of monsters and often a boss floods through. And so now you have to go
They are very
back to the
excited.
center and fight all that, kill everything.
I would be too.
Defeat the boss, get the loot, and then
Heck
everything
yeah.
drops then and there once you successfully do that. If you can't do it, run away.
Question.
That's up to
Do you guys think this is
you
live,
can
or do you
still
think
play
this
it
is
the old way
pre-recorded?
if you want and like not get so much rewards, just kill as many as you want and move on. But generally speaking,
What
you
time
want
is
to
it
go
in
back to
New
the middle.
Zealand?
You want to kill the either waves of hordes of monsters coming through the portal or the boss that spawns.
Because last time I thought it was live because they had like.
I would
Yeah, it
assume.
locks open
Probably
the time.
the mic
So
was
that's
in
another
time.
good thing. Yeah. So the
Because
existing
last
breach.
time, remember, the
I mean,
mic
obviously,
wasn't working as
Especially
well.
with
pretty
all the
outdated
camera
and
cuts.
even imbalanced, and often people were killing the breach lords,
Well,
the
they can do the
wild
camera
ones, in
cuts
like, a
and
matter of
pre-recorded,
seconds.
right?
But I wanted
Folks
to
are
make sure
saying
that
it's
boss fight didn't have a
always
time
live.
condition. So yeah, once it stabilizes, that's it. You just once you kill them, it
But you
closes.
could always
You
do
have
it
infinite
and
time
just
to kill that boss
pre-recorded,
and
right?
fight
We
those
just know
monsters.
that last time I wasn't
You're not
because
just
of
like,
the
oh my
mic
god, I gotta do it. So like it
situation.
is a more substantial,
fixed
and
it.
generally because you've cleared everything in that circle
feel
now,
like this
it's like
part is
almost like you
probably
created your own
live.
arena. You've got like a nice clear area where you can fight that boss and focus on killing that boss. Now he has minions in a regard, so obviously it's not just
Earlier
one-on-one,
this year,
but,
they announced that they will
you know,
update
that
both games
mechanic's,
every 4
like,
months.
Quite cool.
Now
So
we
that's the
have
like Varun, the
6
Marshal of
updates
Zesht fight.
each year. So every 2
he
months
has some
there's an
specific
update for either
drops.
Path of Exile 1 or 2.
Generally
That's a
want
lot.
to kill him.
Crazy.
And then so that's encounter number 2. And then encounter number 3. I know who's going on a bit of a thing here, but these next
bit
to
of
a
content.
bit quicker. Encounter number 3 is the kind of sky fortresses you saw. It's very similar to the first fight. It's kind of like, we
He's
didn't stop this hive. Some of these
spoiling.
hives have been getting built for
He's telling
weeks
us.
or whatever, and now
He's
they're like
telling me all of
full
the content.
giant mega structures. So you climb the
I
beanstalk,
will
as
say,
they
I think
call
this
it,
was
the
a
Greek
shorter reveal
beanstalk.
than before.
You get
I
up to
feel
the
like
sky
usually they do,
fortress,
like, a
and
proper
honestly, it's kind of just like a
40-minute
map
Now
of
it
breach
felt more like
monsters
they
There's no
was
timer,
clearing
no?
through.
It's not
Nah,
like
no
Breach
timer at this
Deadlands.
point. You can just clear the area and leave. Taking your rewards with you, but in the center is
In December,
like
it's
the
the new
hive
Path of
encounter, the
Exile 2
very
update.
first
Well, it's
one,
gonna be the
like a
1 year of
wave-based
Path of
encounter.
Exile 2.
It's just a
So
lot
it's
more epic,
coming.
and you have to, the same exact thing, except Aelith's like, it's going to take a lot more explosive power to destroy the rest of this hive and seal this portal, so you might want to get out of here. So generally speaking, once you've
No,
killed all the
I'll fight till
waves,
I
you then have to
die.
get out of the area before Aelith burns the entire thing to the ground.
Cool.
Normally you can survive that, not in this case. You might want to get out of there. Once you do, you get all the loot. Sweet. You're not going to get that encounter too frequently, but it can be a little bit
right,
of fun, a
when
little bit
Legion
more
2.
action-packed when you're trying to escape. And then the fourth encounter is pretty similar to that, except it's just an area with your pinnacle boss, your
Equal.
in-game boss fight at the end of it.
And you basically didn't show those in the trailer because I did know that people were like wondering why you showed kind
I
of.
wonder if
so
they can
much of
finish
the
Act
Uber
5 and 6
bosses
and have the game
for
ready
the
for 1.0
original
in
content,
time
but
for December.
You didn't really show any of
we,
these
we
guys.
generally avoid showing bosses for sure, especially new
Show
ones.
me a boss!
You get
I
a
see the new
silhouette
boss!
of it, a single emerge shot. And for sure, like for the Ubers, we're like, well, they've got like 10, 15 skills each. Let's show one mechanic we've changed of each, Maybe not the best option. Like I know people like their full mystery, so like maybe lesson learned in the future might just show nothing. But
show
we only did show
something.
one
Yeah.
of all of their skills that have changed, just so people get a general grasp of how they're changing.
Yeah.
But I probably given the feedback, I'm probably just not going to show those.
No, it
again.
makes sense why they had a
Fair enough.
shorter
Yeah,
update
we'll let it be
this
a
time,
mystery.
especially since
but
Path of Exile 2 is going to have the big
So
update,
this
the big
skill
1.0.
tree, you actually did it. You made a skill tree. Well done.
I don't think
Finally.
1.0
Tree
Path
tree.
of Exile 2 will come out
This
till
tree
next
tree
year.
is quite fascinating because
Well,
it's not just a
December 4th
like a
is going to be
meta
their 1
progression
year.
system for the
So I
league
think
or
they were
something.
trying to
there
like
is
try and
it is
have that
progressing,
rushing.
but
But
it's
yeah,
also
I know
it
folks
is a
are saying
crafting
next
system.
year.
It's a tree that is a
Sorry.
crafting system.
Yeah, 1.0
And
is
for messing
definitely
around
I
with
meant
that,
the 1
like
year.
it feels kind of brilliant.
It'll
like,
be around the corner
it's a
before
really
you
good
know
idea.
it.
Before
Yeah,
you
and,
know it.
How did that come about?
There's kind of a mixture
Crikey.
from Chris Octavian and
Zane, can you say blimey?
I can't remember who. Me and him and kind of Andrew, we all kind of just came up with
I'm
ideas.
always
but
in
I
awe
think
Blimey.
the original
How
tree that
fast
spawns
your
items or
TTS
grows
is
items
now.
and then
It's
hatches
really-
items came from Octavian.
It's fun.
And the graph
I
side
love
as
it.
well. He's got a
He's
nice
cooking.
creative brain
Yeah,
on that
he's
one.
down.
Comes up with some cool ideas. I like
Oi,
that kind of
blimey.
out there style of
Fine.
design, which is good. And Are
you girls gonna play
so
before the
eventually,
update, or
we
are you
took
gonna
that
wait
kind of
for the
idea.
update
I
to
was the one who
play?
brought Breach to the table and was like, oh, we can unify these, and that
I
came
might
from
play it a
an
little
interesting
bit
thing where
before
in,
the
in the
update.
Twisted Domain in PoE 2,
Probably
you get these
after the update.
you have these trees made of hands
Yeah,
that the
I think I'm
environment
gonna wait
artists made,
for the update.
and I really love them, and
don't
I'm
wanna
like, normally
start a
because
new
you're on a
character
timer
and
in
then
that
have to
area, you're
restart
going
again.
you're fighting monsters, you don't really get to appreciate a lot of the art assets.
I
in
think you
there.
should start a new
And I was
character.
like, wow, damn, I want to use those trees, but
And
have them
restart
because
the
I think they're
grind.
petrified in that version. So it's like, what does that look like when it's a bit more alive, a bit more organic, a bit more gross? So yeah, we kind of came up with
gross,
this
yeah.
tree, and tree that hatches items, and it has this fruit, and then we were like, nah, like I don't want just a tree that has fruit. We just it needs to be
Why
gross and
not?
dark and horror. It's like
They
it's
really
like
did a
gothic
good job
world,
on
and
the
so, yeah,
tree,
we
by the way.
obviously went a little bit
It
more
was so good.
crazy with the
With all
theming
the
on it
extra
all.
It's
kind of
but
hard
I
to
like
plan
it,
your
right? It is
build though
dark.
when
Yes.
you have
Like a little-
new
you've got this alien-esque
ascendancies and new
demon
skills,
species,
though.
right? Like
Squeeze
Somebody
and
asked me
items
then
and
if
all
your
that.
DPS got faster or if you're just
of
better at predicting
yeah,
what
it
I'm
kind of
gonna
came like
say.
that, and then it's like, well,
No.
it needs a meta progression.
It got
the good thing
faster.
about the tree having
No,
a
no, she just
passive
knows
tree
me so well.
is we get to
I also
reuse all the
learned a
same
new
code
thing I
that
can
our
do.
passive trees use.
Yeah, show me.
And then the other because
Can
it's good
speak
because
different
then you don't
languages.
have to make a completely bespoke system. And again, it's
peut parler en
picking your battles, being
français.
able to focus more on what the nodes do as opposed to
Or
the
which
system, the
languages?
underlying system.
Give me a
I think
second.
what's pretty interesting
Chat,
about it
give
though
me
is the
something.
way that like it actually for
Ruski, давай
crafting.
по-русски.
It's quite interesting how it sort of encapsulates the idea that you've got like various
Go,
dependent
давай
choices.
All
right, UV
You
gave
don't
me
normally think
something
about
here.
crafting in that way, but that's really what crafting is, and so
Let's
it kind
see.
of like means that it's actually a surprisingly natural interface for crafting. Like, yeah,
That's what was
works.
striking me
Yeah,
about it,
yeah,
yeah.
it works really well.
Yeah,
and so
bibliothèque.
yeah, that's kind of a pretty
Я
interesting one.
тоже тебя
I don't think I've ever seen it
люблю.
before. Someone doing anything quite like that. So
Yeah, like I've seen
Like
some
she loves me.
crafting trees and stuff, but they're usually
Yeah.
separate or there's like some
Yeah.
little bit. But yes, like that's what I was thinking.
Is that what I said?
I'm thinking
I
a lot
don't know
about
what
like,
I
how do you
said.
communicate
You said,
crafting.
"Я тебя
'cause
люблю."
it's a pretty complicated thing generally.
Or
even
you
it's,
could have
even
said,
at
"Я
its
тебя
simplest in Path of
убью,"
Exile.
which means I'm gonna
But this
kill you.
does
But I'm
seem
sure
to
you
have like a
said
very
люблю.
natural, more understandable way of communicating it because you're allocating the nodes for the craft. You get to see
I just
the
copied what was in
structure
the
of your craft
chat.
at a visual map.
No,
Which
you're
I'm like,
confessing
It is
your
cool.
feelings. There's a
So,
difference.
How did we go this? So we've got character.
my
We've
God.
got multiple character trees.
Sorry, you had
World
to,
area trees.
You know,
Is
third
this
wheel
the
here and
first
witness
crafting
this.
tree?
Crafting tree.
well, kind of there was
girl.
the one with the items. I don't even
It is
remember
what
the
it
name
is.
of it
There was the
anymore.
there was the
Crucible?
Yeah, the
Crucible,
Crucible
yeah.
one.
yeah. Oh,
wasn't really, like,
that was
crafted.
that was
Yeah.
items having trees. That
Yeah,
By
was
the
yeah,
way,
yeah,
to
Zen, is your
Yeah,
drop
it's
tracking
actually
correctly?
kind of
Yeah.
Somebody
argue
mentioned that maybe the drop
scourges
isn't
like the
tracking
whole microwave
correctly over here.
Tracking. mechanic kind of. It wasn't really a tree. It was like a grid. It was a bit different, you know.
I have
so-
no idea
I
on
don't know.
that
It might
one.
be our
Let
first
me
true
check.
crafting tree.
It's like I just can't
You
help
just
but
got
wonder.
yours.
Like
Okay.
we'll see, I guess
So we
after
are
I leave. But I
tracking
just can't help but
correctly.
wonder if you like accidentally stumbled upon one of
Oh,
the
yes,
potential
you are.
solutions to like
Try
how do you
refreshing
communicate
it.
No
crafting
worries.
players because it's so hard to do. It's like
I just
maybe
wanted to
this has
check.
applications elsewhere. This
Might
idea.
do.
We'll see how it goes, and
Yes,
there's a
there
lot to
are
expand
drops.
on here, of course. Like when you have these kinds of tree systems, and you know, immediately people are going to be like, oh, keystones and where's my crafting tree notables and masteries and jewel slots.
My cluster
Oh, no.
jewels for my crafting tree.
Yeah, build your own crafting tree.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
I have
But
to
obviously
try and
that depends,
resist
we
and not
don't want to
play until
overcomplicate
next
it off the
week,
bat. So you
because
come
I
in with something
know
kind of
that I'm
simple,
gonna,
elegant.
like starting a new character
See how
now
it
and then
works, see how
starting a new
people
character
respond to
later.
it.
Ugh.
And then, if things go core, because we always like to decide based on how the players respond, we can evaluate how we want it to be, if we want to change it, if we want to leave it as is, if we want to, so we'll do all that. But yeah, it's cool. I like a lot of the ideas coming here with that, with that and the grafts and stuff like that. There's some pretty crazy cool things.
So talking about like the idea of preserving some of the stuff from the old breach or what's not being kept. So you had the old breach lord domains. They're effectively being replaced or removed here.
So those are
Breach
all we've
lords.
kept.
Rip.
Breach 1, I don't know what you'd call it, fully intact on standard, whereas on this league it's the full Breakwall Keepers of the Flame mechanics, so full replacement. None of that is there in the current while playing in Keepers of the Flame. Like all of the breach nodes on the Atlas tree are gone. And all that. So you've got the current league.
Wow.
Obviously, our intention is
I
that it
wonder
goes
after
core,
the league
but
if
we'll
they'll
take
add
the
it to
better elements of it.
standard.
One interesting thing here is obviously we still have all the old stuff. So if we miss the mark on some things, it's still there. We can bring it back. We can integrate it. We can,
You never
obviously
miss the mark
it
on
would suck,
anything.
to have to then accept
you
that we
do,
have
you
to
listen
keep
to the
using all the old
community.
Hit or
art and
miss.
old mechanics and old fight to some degree. But
I
like, if
guess
they're
you
more
never
fun, they're
miss.
more fun. I don't.
I guess
we're
I
not
never miss.
necessarily here in the business of taking away things that people loved. So obviously, I'm pretty
love
confident
my
in what
Watch
we've got is
Mojo
going to
girl
be
voice? That's
amazing.
not
And
my
as you said,
voice.
first impressions pretty
Are you
positive.
saying
So,
about Zenny?
Oh my
but you know,
God.
worst comes to
you
worst, if
say
we have to
Watch
take the best of
Mojo?
both
No,
worlds and
not
merge
this
them, then
again.
that's still what we're going to
Please.
do. Now that
Fuck.
being said, so yes, you don't have breach domains in Keepers of the Flame. You got all those new mechanics I described
Welcome to
earlier.
Watch Mojo.
But that
Here's
isn't
your
to
top
say
10
there isn't a
moments.
future where we have a prequel to the prequel, and we have or an update.
She
Not
is
necessarily
doing
another
it.
sequel, but
Are you not
bring back
entertained?
some of those things that were good about it. So immediately I can see people coming to mind, but what about the uniques or the rewards? We have kept all of that. All of that can be spawned from the tree. You can grow pretty much all of it. You can find
You
I
should
won't
just
reveal
give us
exactly how to do that.
multiple ring slots since we'll have multiple
But,
other
yeah,
hands.
you can
like,
generally
they
get
should
all of
just
the
give us
historic
free
rewards
ring
from Breach,
slots,
from
you
the
know?
new
One
mechanic
ring
as
for
well. We've
one
tried to keep all of
finger.
that.
Yeah.
Does this mean Breach rings finally get a revamp after
I
sitting
want
there
10
with their
whole rings
silly
for
thing?
all
that
my
Yeah, well, they
ten
got
rings.
their improvement in PoE too, so we had already accepted that having a double effect while in Breach, especially given that's only useful some small percentage of the time generally, not good enough. So yes,
Some
the
ring-
breach rings
oh, yeah,
have
what
been
about 12 rings?
reworked.
20 rings?
I believe the
Oh, wait, I
implicits
only have
are all max res of the
3 codes
corresponding
usually, but I have
element
5 now.
types.
Thank God I have
Wait,
7 feet now. Oh,
Does Merc stay in this
This one
league?
is.
Because Merc's
Whatever
was
we'll deal with
pretty
that, but
darn
I
good.
believe it
last
also
league.
restricts or constrains the mods you can roll in it, so it's like Zoff,
Any
Zoff rings,
professionals
fire
help
mods,
us?
etc., etc.
Cool. Sounds rather interesting. The unique
professionals?
crafting as well looked pretty
No
wild.
Mercs,
Like,
damn.
I was pretty excited to see that. I expected it to be like it would remove a modifier and then just replace it with like a random rare
No more
modifier or something.
Mercs.
But it seems like they're actually handmade modifiers, like there's bespoke
Also,
modifiers.
remember
and even
everybody, if
multiple,
you
like
want to
there's
buy
two
your
core rain
previous
ones.
pack
It's just like a
from
long
the
list of
previous
them. and
update, you
surely
have
can't
until
do
the new
1,000
update
uniques worth
launches.
of those. Like,
I
you
actually
won't
don't
be
know
able
what
to
number
buy
they
your
got to,
supporter
but
pack, okay? You can
effectively
buy
it
the
was
new
just
one
like
now,
we'll
too.
just go until we run out of time. But yeah, like there's a whole bunch of uniques. It is here's the list of mods that it can lose. Here's the list of mods it can be replaced with on a per unique basis. Yes. Again, not all the uniques. I almost assure you it won't be the majority. And obviously you're not going to be getting pinnacle boss uniques from here and stuff like that. Those are restricted to things that have specific drop locations.
Did they
specific drop
mention the
locations.
breach
But yeah,
arms that you
that
can
being said,
equip?
it
Are
is a
they
list.
like unique
It would suck
skills?
lose the
on
key
them,
mod on an
or
item. So generally speaking,
can
we
equip
don't
any
allow
like
skill,
activate
any
any
skill.
skill.
what gives
Oh,
that unique
that's a good
full
question.
identity to be removed. A
I
lot
would
of it
just
can be
have
either
it
the
do my
fluff
most spammy
stats,
skill
sometimes
if
the
I can,
downsides,
or it might have its own
some
skills.
stuff like that. So yeah, we'll just kind of see what happens
think I
there.
vaguely
If
remember
people
it was
love that,
unique
it would
skills,
be the
but I
thing where
can't
we can add more
remember.
and more and more and more, and then eventually we will have the entire unique pool covered.
It
16
feels like it
see
would
how
be
that
very
goes,
OP
but-
if
Well,
it
kinda
like
fun.
You'd love to
lets
see
you
it. So the other thing
auto-target
was
any of
these
your skills.
creepy arms that you can grow on yourself. I love that. We just here have an arm. Sure. Just plug it
Yeah, it
into your
seems like
back.
the arms
Why not?
you'll be
I mean,
able
we're
to pick
shoving
between
rusty bits of
skills.
metal in ourselves and stuff before, so why not continue with that? But these are like, it was in the video, but I didn't really like kind of understand kind of how impactful they'd be until I was messing around with it, especially for leveling. But these are like pretty major skills and an extra layer, because especially so there's 16 of them, and you can have 2 of them, and they're like a mixture of auto casting skills, proc based things, so like on attack or something.
All right,
and
you two,
manually casting.
I'm
in some
going to go
cases as
ahead
well.
and
Like, I've
sneak
had
away.
20 of those, like,
You guys enjoy the rest of the
so
showcasing.
these seem
Bye.
pretty
Thanks, guys.
significant.
Thank you so much for letting me join.
What's kind of like
Bye-bye.
the plan for how impactful you want these to
Much
be?
love.
Or like,
Bye, geckos.
especially at
You
endgame,
too.
like, they'll definitely like very impactful
You
while
know,
leveling.
Yuzu, think it might be our time as well. What do you
Obviously,
think,
there's
Yuki?
always going to
Okay,
be
thank
a
you.
spectrum of
Thanks for
usability.
watching.
And, generally speaking,
Thank you
yeah,
everybody for
they're gonna be pretty
watching. A
powerful.
big thank you to
But you know how strong
GGG
characters
for
can get. They can generally
consistently
outclass
getting
everything.
Us back into the,
That
okay,
being
it
said,
lagged for a second. For consistently
for a
getting us
long,
back
long,
into
long,
the game
long
and
way,
for
they're going to be
sponsoring
pretty
this
damn
watch
useful.
along. Girl,
And even
I'll
beyond
see you
then,
next
there's
week when we
generally
play
can
the
scale
game.
the content,
I
the
will
difficulty
see you
of the
next
game.
week. All right.
Like,
Bye.
Bye,
you'll notice
Lab
like something I think you observed
Bye-bye.
as well. The numbers on the scales are like out of control.
Yes.
That is because they don't scale with your stats.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Okay.
debuff on the enemy, anything you debuff on them does. But yeah, they don't scale with your increases. The reason
W
for that,
sponsors. Good
is that I would
sponsor
want it to be
segment. It was kind of
If you're
hard
a
to
spellcaster,
follow
you have to
along
use
with
one that's doing a spell, you know, because you generally focus on
I think the
increases.
next time I think I'm gonna try to do it solo just so I can follow it along a little better, because there's so much freaking content. There's so much content that I feel like I'm missing because I'm trying to pay attention to my partners. And with like a game like this, with how specific, how detailed, how wordy things can be, I'm trying to like read things, and then like the devs are like talking over like the item being showed, and then also like having my partners also talk over it. So like I don't know like if I'm being rude or not to any party, and I hope I'm not being rude to any party, but I'm not trying to ignore others. But I'm just trying to read. When it comes to games like this, I'm so freaking locked in when it comes to item descriptions, when it comes to like cracking numbers. Like I'm so locked in that sometimes I just like go non-verbal and ignore everything else. So I hope I didn't come off as rude. I hope I didn't come off as like dismissive or anything. But yeah, I'm just trying to freaking game, bro.
Yeah, in a way you could say that. Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking when I was messing with. It was like, okay, so we're gonna have 2 of these. It definitely feels.
You
like
can rewind solo as well. True. True, I can do that.
So
I want to see something actually real quick. I want to check something.
No.
PoE keeper.
That would have been kind of fun though.
That would be pretty cool. The way Octavian explained the graphs.
It's hard to listen to things like when a whole other conversation's going on. It's more rude to just yap during the thing. Yeah, I wanted to like,
That was explaining the scaling. Like that's why they don't scale with your stats, because they're not.
try to, I guess, focus more on the contents, because especially for like PoE 1, I'm less familiar with PoE 1 because I play 2 more. So I wanted to like lock in more, because like at least in 2, if I'm not as locked in, at least I know what the heck's going on. But in 1, there's so much shit in 1 that I just don't understand, even though like I play a lot of PoE.
You know, deformed, crazy things going on, or like, you know, I think I had a design. I was like, what if it was one?
Anyways, I wanna watch the at least the trailer. It's like 2 minutes. Let's just rewatch it real quick. But yeah, sponsored segment is over. Thank you again to GGG. Thank you again, Path of Exile, for sponsoring us. We are gonna play the update when it drops in. Let me just double check when it drops so I don't give you the wrong information. So we will be playing. Oh wait. On October 31st. So that's when that's the next time we'll be sponsored again with GGG to play Path of Exile's new Keepers of the Flame. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys also enjoy Path of Exile as much as I do. And if you don't and you've still watched it, you're awesome. I appreciate you. On Halloweeny, yeah. I mean, I don't imagine doing much on Halloween, so I don't know. Like, we'll probably be playing for a long time that day. But if not, I'm just gonna be passing out candies like a unk. I have reached unk status. Passing out candy status. Chucking them out the window with flies. I'm chucking them out like with a cannon, those like little gun cannon thingies. You know, the stuff that they shoot the folded merch with. I'm just shooting candy with it. All right, we're just gonna rewatch this trailer. It's a short 2-minute trailer. I just want a brief like recap of what the heck's gonna happen in Keepers of the Flame. Breach is my favorite mechanic in PoE, so this is like this is more up my alley. I love Breach, so I'm excited for it. And I know I don't play 1 as much as 2, but maybe I'll start playing it a lot more because I genuinely do love the Breach. Why does this look like? Why does YouTube look like this?
We, the keepers of the flame, serve the will of the dreamer. His instructions whispered from beyond.
I want that
the
outfit
walls.
too. I want that dang outfit.
But now, the Hiveborn are here, on Rayclast, and they seek to poison our world.
Did they mention how many new skills?
We must close their breaches, destroy their hives, slay
Mama.
their breach lords.
Holy.
And by his gift,
God, it's so
the
creepy
dreamer
looking, bro.
provides.
Ew, I hate that animation
They
so
brought
much.
this war to our world, but we shall end it.
I hate that too.
Whatever it takes.
Ew. Honestly, wait, did they show the bloodline ascendancy for this one specifically? Because she looks awesome. Who do you guys think this will be for? They showed this one. They showed this one. I think this was like the ritualist, and then this one was for like rage stuff and like evasive builds or something like that. Nothing for Alicia. Oh, this is the Sanctum boss. She looks so sick, dude. She looks so cool. I'm seeing nips. Bruh. I'm gonna suck on it. They didn't show any of these ones either. 3 new Uber bosses. Keepers of the Flame. October 31st. Bro, I'm excited. I think like I was a little overwhelmed trying to like watch every— what is Nugget doing? Nugget. I was a little overwhelmed trying to watch because like I was so locked in. Aren't you the same person that reacted to Epic the Musical? I did have a reaction to Epic the Musical. Literally so top tier, so peak. I love that. Love it so much. You know, GGG is the only studio that I know of consistently cooks. Love GGG is really moving towards building on old leagues and characters instead of introducing a new threat and cast members with every update. I actually like that too. I'm surprised they took this long to expand on previous mechanics or previous I guess like league stuffs. I hadn't realized that it's been so long since they did anything with the old mechanics that they've had for such a long time. This isn't the first time they have expanded, it's just other things. Well, like Breach, they mentioned that Breach, this is the prequel, this is Breach 2. So they're just like, this is the first ever time that they're like doing a sequel to previous mechanic. Breach is a old league, prequel. PoE 2 showed up with more stuff with it, so they probably are still in that mind space. Oh wait, hold on. Lets you preview some of the stuff like items and ascendancies. Let me check. Sorry, it got auto-modded. Oh shit, it does. Okay, wait. Guys, we have a week. I wonder if we're gonna be able to wear this as a cosmetic eventually, because it's such a nice outfit. I want to wear that. I like the hood. I think I was mentioning this in the live stream too, but I feel like Path of Exile can benefit from like having more lighter aesthetic, like a lighter faction, because like they're always like tribal, they're always like blood cult, eldritch horror, like dark fantasy, like power fantasy, but like we don't get holy stuff. Like I want like one holy set. Like give me, well, I mean they have paladin and like, but like not armored. Okay, not armored. I want like something like more roby, like more like soft core, you know? They're like very hardcore on the armor aesthetic. Like I want more light armors. They have so much supporter packs, and it's just all like armor and stuff and like very hardcore. There's a ton. I don't think so. I don't think so. I would have found it. I would have actually found it, because you know how hard I go for fashion. I would have definitely found it. Code, thank you for the 27 months. Mariketh could be a way to get that. Would fit their fashion. Yeah, I don't know. There's like in PoE 2, there's like these enemies that are like white and crystallized and kind of cool. Like maybe it could fit into that area of the game. I don't know. I mean, PoE 2, they literally could do like Victorian dresses and shit now. Wait, hold on, let me read this. Order of the Keepers. Wait, I want to see. Okay, directly infused into your body, grafts grant passive benefits and wide selection of powerful skills, offering everything from damage to potent defensive buffs and crowd control. There are 16 different graph types you can grow, each with their own skill. Unlock a second graph slot as your Genesis tree grows, giving you even more customization for your build. I wonder if this it most definitely enhances like a lot of builds, but I wonder if the one that benefits most from it is like the ones that just walk in their screen, like Righteous Fire builds, the ones that just literally do walking simulator, because now they have a graft constantly casting spells. You just have like a fucking a breach hand on your back, and you have two of them. You have two breach hands on your back. Seems like they don't get buffed by your stats, and the hands have cooldowns attached to them. Oh, dang. They do look cool though. I like that it has like a little particle effects that the hand is like holding up. That's so cool. They still have mana cost though. That would limit it. Is it? It's not auto cast, right? Or is it? Luna, thank you for the prime. Thank you. I hope they don't clash with the wings. Yeah, it's definitely gonna ruin my cosmetics. It's definitely, well, I think it'll look fine, but definitely other aesthetics, it will look weird. Oh, you can hover. Oh. Minions have 7% increased attack and cast speed, uses Level 30, the Great Avalanche. Cast time 1 second, cooldown 18 seconds. Doesn't have a mana cost, does it? I don't see one. When you use an offering skill, this graph will an offering skill. Oh, so it has a requisite. You have to use a skill that's associated with it. Okay. When you use an offering skill, this graph will summon an army of hive-born breach monsters to do your bidding. These summoned monsters have their physical damage converted to cold and have a chance to apply a brittle on hit. Interesting. Interesting. This one's cooldown is 20 seconds. Heart of Flame. What is Heart of Flame? Is that the one that's like a aura damage fire aura? Nugget. Skills used by this graph have a 95% chance to ignite. Skills used by this graph have 91% increased critical strike, 15% critical strike. That's Righteous Fire. Righteous Fire is a different ability though, right? Heart of Flame is Heart of Flame is different. Oh, it's a new skill? Because I know in Path of Exile 2, I remember there's a unique staff that gives Heart of Ice. Well, I think also Scepters can do it too now. But I think Heart of Ice was like a presence area effect, chill and damage aura, I think is what it was. But I might be wrong. Oh, this goes right next to it. When you're missing life, this graph will apply a buff that takes some damage from hits for you before being depleted. When you are struck while the buff is active, the skill will fire Nova of fiery projectiles which explode on impact. So it's kind of like a Thorns vibe. I think all hearts are things centered on you. Better steel skin with longer CD. Destroy the hives. New skill and support gems. This is literally just that Amazon skill with less steps. That tornado skill. It's actually probably way better. It looks way better, actually. Oh, you can see Raid class's life force flows through your veins. Unsealed spells gain 5% more damage each time their effects reoccur. Skills supported by Unleash have +3 to maximum number of seals. So this would be a seal build then. I remember when I was playing, I did go seal towards the end. I was like building for Righteous Fire and then like someone told me to go seal and then I went seal instead. But having a +3 maximum is kind of crazy. I'm home. Welcome home. So this ascendancy is just like for either caster, probably melee build, and then like whatever evasion build, I guess. I don't know. This one is wild though. You start from unaffected by poison. Utility flasks are disabled. Actually, this one is probably the one that you would no brainer take for your ring slot. Not being able to use amulets or belts is so boo-boo, but like utility flask sounds like a no-brainer. I would, considering that amulets and belts can be insane. You think belt would be the no-brainer? Don't they have a belt that increases the effect of your rings though? Oh, that's only in 2. No movement flask. I feel like there's so many movement options in 1 though. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a believer in utility flasks. And also it's less buttons to press, so I don't mind. I hate having more buttons to press, so like this would be no-brainer for me personally. I wonder how this ring slot interacts with Thieves' Torment. Some builds keep empty flask slots for the node that makes the rest fill up faster. You can automate flask on 1. They're really strong in 1. Oh. Just get mage blood. Okay, so you would take out belts then? Is what you're saying? You'd rather take out belts? Oh, amulet? If I was poor, I'd take out belts. Wait, so is this ascendancy specific to who you start with then? So would the ritualist be for like the archer starter? Who would this start with? What starter was this? Everyone can pick one of... Oh, this is an extra ascendancy? Oh, so... Oh, I thought this was like... That's crazy. It's a multi-class thing? What? Oh, I thought it was... Okay, that changes things. Wow. You share points with both ascendancies. That's crazy. Oh, me when I read. It says right here, bloodline ascendancies can be taken on any class. Me when I read. Wow, the benefits. That's pretty cool. I wonder if this is going to be a permanent thing. You need to give up some useless 4th ascendancy point to get this. Probably good for scions. I want to play scions because... Or I want to play a scion because she's cute. She's like the cutest one out of everyone else. Even though she's not ideal, I'm just going to play her anyways. Well, what is this one? Increased elemental damage, fire resist, cold resist, lightning resist. That's kind of crazy. Attack and cast speed, 10% increase effective non-damaging ailments. Hits with prismatic skills always sap. This is kind of... I mean, it kind of seems like a good ring. I don't know. Seems good. Just has like kind of everything. Trigger a socketed spell when you block with a 0.25% second cooldown. 42% chance to block spell damage while in offhand. Interesting. Increased spell damage. Triggered spells poison on hit. All damage with triggered spells can poison. Huh. Wait, that's cool. 1C. For a requirement level 80, no. Oh. This one seems kind of cool, though. You can poison with all damage of triggered spells can poison. This one seems kind of cool. But you have to block. You would need to block it to trigger. Dagger is a good one to build around. I don't know what I want to go as, actually, or I don't know what type of build I want to make. I do like all the holy looking stuff, so maybe I'll go like something holy looking. I also like the chaos spells. I think chaos spells look awesome. Like, this looks cool. Also, the seals are cool too. I like the seals. Holy Flame Totem. Is that the one that requires you to be melee range though? I don't like being melee range. I like being caster. I like being a caster with a staff. I just have the main mindset grind set. Righteous Fire for me if patch notes don't nerf. I think I remember when I played PoE 1 for the first time when I was doing Righteous Fire. Someone said that it got like Omega nerfed. I mean, but it was still good when I was using it. But I was like leveling, so I don't know how it is endgame. This breach is based around killing lots of small medium monsters. Having something with big clear is probably best pick. The thing is, the thing that I don't like about PoE 1 is I still suck at understanding the sockets on armor and on like gear. Like, I cannot. I don't know how to work around that. I don't know, because sometimes I get gear and then it doesn't have the sockets that I need. But then I don't know, because I know you can change the sockets, but I don't know how to do that. It's trivial later. It's rough while leveling. Yeah, I was like struggling while leveling because like I wanted to use new gear, but then the sockets were so not my sockets. Sockets are early game struggle, then it's just crafting bench. Okay. Cock it. Yep. Yep. You match colors, that's about it. Crafting bench or orbs. I didn't get to that point though. I was early game baby, man. Socket system from 1 is better in my opinion. In 2, it's just meh. You think so? I think like for a new player experience, 2 is easier to understand, and I think that's why I like gravitate to 2 a little more. For 1, I think it's so complex for my brain to understand. Like it was hard to grasp. It was hard to like really get used to it, and even now, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like that. I think in 2 I like it a lot more.